tradition. And welcome to the sold-out Conseco Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana. Game 1 today, the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Louisville Cardinals. Hello, everybody. This is Bob Neal along with Quinn Buckner. Our second game this afternoon will be Indiana Xavier. So we have a lot of folks. As 3 of these teams are from nearby Indianapolis, and they have made the trip here. It'll be a wild and woolly crowd today. And Quinn, this tournament, this 2-game doubleheader, has become well known around America as one of the best preseason games.
Yeah, we've got 4 teams that have their own tradition, but I can think of no better honor than for those teams to be a part of this tradition, the John Wooden tradition. I think it's a great, great situation here.
We have an interesting matchup in a big team like Iowa and a run-and-gun defensive trapping team like Rick Pitino. Rick Pitino coaches Louisville. They've been picked to win Conference USA again this year. However, he knows not very much about his team because they have not played a regular season game yet. Here's what he had to say about it.
So I don't know why we're rated so high. I'm trying to figure it out. We did have 2 talented freshmen last year, but they were under the radar screen. Now they have bullseyes on their back. So I think we're sort of going through a rebuilding team with a very difficult schedule. Our opener is Iowa. We play certainly at Western, Seton Hall, Florida, at Tennessee, at Kentucky. So we've got a very difficult schedule before we get into conference play, but that's what makes a good team tough at the end of the year.
Well, if they're going to be tough, the thing that Rick Pitino's got to have is he's got to have his sophomore preseason player of the year for the Conference USA, Francisco Garcia, step up. He's 6'8". He really shoots the ball very well. Doesn't need a lot of dribbles, does not need a lot of time. This guy has got to step up for them, Bob.
It'll be an interesting matchup because Iowa has that standard post-up center game, and Steve Alford told us what he thinks about the matchups. They should be interesting.
We know we're playing an outstanding team, an extremely well-coached team, a team that is a top 20 team that could probably easily be a top 10 team if they'd played games by now. So we're going to have our hands full. They like to play at a rapid pace. We like to play up-tempo, but I think the key will be, will we be able to play with some poise and not turn the basketball over?
Well, in order not to turn the basketball over, they've got to get some very good play from Pierre Pierce. He's had 26 points in this first game against the UNC Asheville, 17 in the next game against Drake. He's a very, very solid player, and he's got to lead his team in terms of taking care of the basketball because they're going to see some pressure.
If both of these players, Garcia and Pierce, play up to their potential and their talent, that should be a great matchup today. We'll be back with the starting lineup for Game 1, Louisville, Iowa, at Conseco Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. Stay with us.
Get off the bench and into the game with sports on Superstation WGN. From the hardwood to the hard hit.
15, 10, touchdown.
Get inside the huddle with college hoops, college football,
Great block.
and professional basketball.
Beautiful.
This is where the playmakers play. Superstation WGN, where sports is always in season.
Well, if you ever plan to motor west, take my way, that's the highway, that is the best. Kick out on Route 66. Get the kick out on Route. Really feeling real fine on Route 66.
Hello?
You've got to get over here.
Here. Got a reason to get up? New Clearasil Ice Wash is an icy blast of refreshment, and nothing bites back me better. Hey, I didn't know you were going to be here. New Clearasil Ice Wash. Clear skin, Clearasil.
Attention angioplasty and clogged artery patients. Heart stents are used to open clogged coronary arteries. The FDA warned that a certain drug-coated heart stent may cause blood clots and has been linked to over 60 deaths. If you or a loved one suffers serious complications or death after having an artery clearing procedure with a drug-coated heart stent, call the law offices of James Sokolov at 1-800-734-5305. That's 1-800-734-5305.
Alvin has a dream.
You gotta be a true place.
Now, he's found a way to make it come true.
You think it's me?
Pretend to be my girlfriend.
Dang, look at you.
Love don't cost a thing. Rated PG-13. Starts December 12th.
Welcome back to Conseco Fieldhouse. A sellout today, 19,000 plus. As a matter of fact, just before the game, I was understanding they were trying to get some standing room only people in here as Louisville and Iowa are set to go at it. The Louisville Cardinals will be technically the home team today. So let's have a look at the starting lineups, and that means the Iowa Hawkeyes will be introduced first. The Iowa Hawkeyes, as I say, standard kind of post-up team with big Jared Reiner in the middle. He led the Big Ten in rebounding last year, and the key man scoring-wise should be Pierre Pierce today. He's averaged 21 in the first 2 games. Steve Alford, the head man at Iowa, of course, a former Indiana University star. In 5 years there, 75 and 58. And now let's have a look at the Louisville Cardinals. Louisville Cardinals, tough matchup with Reiner there in the middle for D'Artez, and of course, Francisco Garcia is their go-to guy. Lindy's magazine calls him the best jump shooter in America. And Rick Pitino, you know all about Pitino from his pro and college coaching. The most you need to know today is Rick Pitino is 4 wins away from 400. And let's go to Stacy. Stacy.
Thanks very much, Bob. You know, there's a lot of injuries on the Iowa Hawkeye side. The most significant right now is with 6'7" senior Glenn Worley. He fractured in his left hand the 4th metatarsal. He's going to be out for at least another week. He's already missed 2 weeks of action. Also keep an eye on another senior, 6'9" Sean Sunderleiter. He did not practice yesterday. I found out it's a hyperextended right knee. They did put heat on that knee, and he will play today. Also, point guard Jeff Horner. He rolled his ankle yesterday, but he's doing okay. They will keep an eye on those 2 athletes, Bob.
Thank you, Stacy. Pat will be going to Stacy frequently throughout the game with reports from the sidelines. Iowa with the ball in the dark jersey.
And they're going to have to be careful with the ball. They're facing a very aggressive kind of a 2-1-2 zone from Louisville, which means Louisville's going to try to force them to make jump shots.
You see the trap in the corner for Louisville, forcing the first turnover, and then it'll turn right back.
I think that, first of all, once you start getting the steals, and particularly early, the passers become a little reluctant to put the zip on it necessary. So we'll see if Steve Alford's club puts the necessary zip on the pass to get it by the defender.
Pierce into Jared Reiner. Over 2 players. Reiner's turnaround won't go. Rebound Louisville, Luke Whitehead. With the ball, the point guard for Louisville. Taekwon Dean. 24 is Whitehead. 34 is O'Bannon. Number 1, D'Artez, the center. You'll see him away from the basket quite a bit.
Yeah, we got the matchup that we talked about. That's Garcia that knocked it down, and Pierce is playing him. So we'll see if Pierce trying to guard Garcia or vice versa. See if one or the other may wear down just a little bit. Obviously, being his own favors Garcia at the moment.
So Garcia gives the Louisville Cardinals the first lead of the game at 2-0, just underway from Conseco Fieldhouse on the drive. And we got a charging foul against Pierre Pierce.
Yeah, he may be a little anxious, you know, as we said. He was out last year, came back, got 26 in his first game. You see, he comes there, the contact's made, D'Artez goes down, and they call the charge against Pierce for his first.
Yeah, Pierce had a red shirt year last year, played 2 years ago as a freshman. Here's Taekwon Dean to Francisco Garcia. He was fouled on the shot. Was he on 3-point range?
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
He sure was. I mean, he comes off the swing, and that's where he's the best. And that's what Iowa has to be concerned about. Brody Boyd got out there, and he's really not going to be able to get to the shot. You don't want to foul a jump shot.
So here is Francisco Garcia, preseason pick for the Conference USA Player of the Year. And this is his first. In the exhibition game for Louisville, he averaged 18.5 points and 4 rebounds from the Dominican Republic by way of the Bronx.
I watched him play a little bit this summer. I went down to the Pan Am games, and he was there. And you could see that he has the kind of game that you would like to have in terms of a player, but he needs some seasoning. As you see an anxious Iowa bench look on.
Oh, the coaches love a guy that can shoot the way he can, who is 6'7", and he's a sophomore. 4-0 Louisville. Iowa yet to put it in the basket.
Well, that's what this zone is doing. It won't, because Rick Pitino is concerned about the size. The only way to do it is you've got to be able to penetrate the zone some.
They penetrate that time and get it to the big man, Jared Reiner, the 6'11" senior, for the first 2 points of the game for Iowa.
Who went right through D'Artez. Same height, but there's more body on Reiner.
40-pound difference in the weight between Reiner and D'Artez. Garcia trying the baseline. D'Artez misses the jumper. He's not a bad jump shooter. Whitehead had it. He's fouled. And that's going to be the second foul very quickly on Brody Boyd.
Well, what you have is athletes on the part of Louisville. You see Boyd reach in there, and they called him for that foul, as it looked like. I thought he got all ball, but instead he fouled Whitehead, who goes to the foul line.
Whitehead's been scoring in the, again, 2 exhibition games. This is the first regular game of the year for the Louisville Cardinals. Whitehead scored 17 and 10 rebounds on average in those 2. So here comes the first substitution of the game, as Brody Boyd, with his 2 fouls, will sit out, and Nick DeWitt, a sophomore from Chandler, Arizona, out of junior college, but he came out after his first year, so he has 3 years of eligibility left for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Yeah, watched him work out yesterday, and he has some skills. He needs to be more aggressive, but he can shoot the ball, he can pass it a little bit, and obviously, as he matures, he'll get stronger.
This is DeWitt, back to Pierre Pierce.
Got to look at it. But those are the kind of shots you're going to get.
Jeff Horner, the point guard, misses the jump shot. It's 5-2 Louisville, 17:37 to go in the first half from Conseco Fieldhouse. A long-range jumper from O'Bannon doesn't go. It's out of bounds, will belong to the Hawkeyes.
Now, the thing you need to know about Louisville, Louisville is going to shoot three-point shots. Steve Alford, a great three-point shooter in his own right at Indiana, will know that this team will get it airborne at almost any time.
And that was the last touch by Louisville. The Iowa ball with 28 on that shot clock. In the first 2 exhibition games for Rick Pitino's Cardinals, 71 threes were attempted.
Exactly. I mean, they're going to look to get the ball airborne. You see the ball go out. You couldn't quite see that it might have gone out on Rhino.
Look at that smothering defense on the part of Louisville. Now 22 seconds on the shot clock.
And Rick's philosophy is fairly simple. I'm going to apply pressure to you on both sides. Defensively, I'm attacking you, as well as offensively, I'm attacking you, and I'm going to take the chance that my bench is deeper than yours, and I'll get more quality play from there.
DeWitt with the inbound pass. Look at Jared Weiner. He has the only Iowa basket so far. All the way cross-court pass.
What happened was, if he was out of bounds and got touched by Horner,
let's wait for the call.
Well, the question is if Fisher was out of bounds. If the Fisher's out of bounds and Horner hits him with the ball is out of bounds, and it goes to Louisville. The Fisher's in the way. That's nothing. Oh, that's why they don't want to give him the travel call.
Yeah, the ball did hit. The official was inbound, so Iowa will maintain possession despite the protest of Rick Pitino with 10 seconds on the shot clock.
Yeah, he's got a legitimate protest. The official was part of the game.
Here's Pierce trying to penetrate that zone. What a move by Pierre.
Nice job. Got in there and got an opportunity to spin away from the defense.
Pierce, good ball handler. He can play the point if necessary. We have a 5-4 game opening moment of the 4th annual Wooden Tradition from Indianapolis. Here's Garcia. Oh, look at the ball movement to Whitehead. Doesn't get the bounce. It is going to belong to Iowa. So Iowa's had a couple of good calls there to get possession of the ball. It's 5-4.
Well, they chased it out. Now, there's Horner right there, and you can see Dean knock the ball out of Horner's hands. This is right on top of the call.
Taekwondo Dean, here's that full-court pressure that Louisville sometimes applies the whole game. Pierce handling the ball, bringing it down with Boyd out with 2 fouls. And there's a drive, an open lane for Jeff Horner.
Well, that's because of the double team over here with Pierce, and then Louisville never got back in position.
And Iowa takes the lead for the first time of the game, 6-5.
Talking to Rick Pitino yesterday, Bob, the thing that he was most concerned about is he lost Ellis Miles, who's one of the interior players last year who had knee surgery. They graduated Reese James, who went to the pros, so they lose a lot, and his concern is whether or not he has enough experience on his team at the moment.
So Iowa gets the turnover yet again, and Iowa with the lead 6-5. They were down 4-0 and then 5-2, and Iowa has found a way to score with Jared Weiner and 2 penetration moves.
Well, that's what they practiced yesterday. You know, as we were in the shoot-around yesterday, that's all you heard from Steve Alford. Let's penetrate the zone.
Here's DeWitt. Down the corner, Greg Brunner, the forward, hits it from the baseline.
And remember, that's the one he got on Brunner for not taking him shoot around yesterday. It was in the same corner, and he wouldn't take it.
Well, he listened.
He sure did.
15:28 to go in the first half. Now 8-5 Iowa. Iowa picked by most to finish probably around third in the Big Ten, but they have a veteran team here, so they do better.
Well, they got 4 starters back, so they've got a chance. But they've got Michigan State, Wisconsin, Illinois. They're all going to be good teams.
Iowa continues to lead 8-5. Greg Brunner. Over to the corner. Here's Pierce trying to penetrate the zone again. This time we've got a jump ball, and the possession arrow goes for Louisville. Excellent defensive play as we're getting a good matchup here between Garcia and Pierre Pierce. The Iowa Hawkeyes out in front by 3.
Yes, and I think that's for charging me too much for my glasses.
Four Eyes. Find the brands, find the prices, lose the attitude.
These are nice, but I saw them at 4 Eyes for less.
They're not the same. These are X-ray glasses. Can I interest you in something else?
Four Eyes. Find the brands, find the prices, lose the attitude.
This year, the holidays are gateways, so give the box. Inside, find the season's hottest electronics. Our ultra-compact digital camera is less than $100. Or a Gateway DVD recorder. Digitally record your favorite TV shows. It's less than $300. America's best-selling plasma TVs are stylish, slim, and only at Gateway. So hurry in. Give the box from Gateway.
Now there's a new way to freshen the whole room. Introducing Glade Plug-in Scented Oil Fan. The first air freshener that uses an ultra-quiet fan to actively circulate your favorite fragrance throughout the entire room.
There. Isn't that better?
New Glade Plug-in Scented Oil Fan.
Freshness with a spin. Plug it in, plug it in.
S.C. Johnson, a family company. Here he comes, just like clockwork, every Sunday morning. Ah, those cinnamon rolls.
There, my little sweetheart.
Nothing brings family together like Grand Cinnamon Rolls. Now with even more irresistible icing.
Are you going to eat that whole thing?
They're not your ordinary cinnamon rolls. They're Grand.
That roll is bigger than you are.
Make Sundays Grand.
Louisville Cardinals cheerleaders, Iowa leading by 3. We're at the Conseco Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana for the 4th annual John R. Wooden tradition. Bob Neal with you, along with Quinn Buckner. We also have Stacy Petz on the sideline. Justin will be with us at halftime between the games. The second game this afternoon will be between Indiana and Xavier.
And right here, here early, it looks like the tempo is really kind of where Iowa wants it, because it hasn't gotten into a more athletic game, which I think will favor Louisville.
Just into the game, number 52, Otis George, he misses, and Louisville has now missed their last 5 shots. They're 1 for 6. Iowa 4 for 7 so far. Tried to lob into the big man, but his ball comes up to Otis George and to Taekwon Dean.
He can't get his whistle in his mouth. He's got to call a foul. He's looking at it. He's got to call a foul.
Back on the other end was a tie-up between the matchup that we talked about today, Garcia and Pierce.
Just watch this. Now Pierce is underneath, and Pitino is behind him. You see the official trying to get his whistle in his mouth.
Well, I think Garcia is going to get about 4 points for the pin.
Oh, I mean, he was there, but Pierce was amazingly, he held him down. I mean, he was the one that got clamped.
We have to study up on our collegiate wrestling moves here.
There's no question about that. Steve Alford, if he had the opportunity to take advantage of what we would have been able to see, he would know that that's a good call.
So Garcia shooting the free throw. That was the second personal, by the way, on Pierre Pierce early in this game.
All right, they're down. Now Pierce, see, his legs are closed on purpose. See, he can drop his legs off of them, and he won't.
I'm sorry, but that's too good. That has to make the highlight reel. And that's the matchup we're talking about. We wanted to see the two of them against each other. We didn't think we were going to see it that closely matched.
No, that's too close and personal.
8-7 Iowa, 14-20 to go in the first half. First game of the year for Louisville. I'll tell you why in a moment. This is O'Bannon. He got fouled on the shot, so he'll go to the free throw line.
That's a bad decision by DeWitt. I mean, you know, you're watching somebody turn the corner, and O'Bannon had a look, and then he fouled him. That is Sam Alford with his back to you, who is Steve Alford's dad. Steve Alford's dad trying to keep Steve from getting at the officials for what he felt was an unjust call.
That'd be something having your dad sitting there. Although he's been with his dad since he was about 5 years old. At the press conference, Steve Alford was talking yesterday about how long he has been a John Wooden fan and an Indiana fan, because at 5 years old, he was going to the gym with his dad.
Take a look at that. That's his coaching record overall, as well as Indiana. His dad had been together. He was coached down in Manchester in Indiana, and his dad had gone with him there and coached him in high school. So they've been fortunate to be able to work together.
We have a 9-8 Louisville lead now with the free throws. There's that trapping pressure.
Well, they just got it over.
Got it up to Nick DeWitt. DeWitt's on the drive, and the foul on Louisville. Oh, tough. You hear the Louisville crowd. A lot of Louisville fans here.
Well, the pass, did he have control of it? And they said he walked. Well, he didn't have the ball necessarily when he was taking steps.
So Iowa will maintain possession. Down a point, 13:55 to go in the first half. Way out on top, it comes to Mike Henderson. He is the freshman, 6'2", 190 from Waterloo, Iowa.
Got a chance to be pretty good. Understand where the ball needs to go. They're now facing a man-to-man. See if Iowa tries to go inside.
There's Brunner trying to drive, and he is called to the travel, and that's an Iowa turnover, and Louisville with a 1-point lead will go the other way.
One of the mistakes you can make is to jump and try to be a passer. And see, he can't touch it again. What he had to do was wait on a Louisville player to touch it, and Brunner picked it up too quickly after throwing it down.
And now Brandon Jenkins, number 11, into the game for Louisville. He has the ball.
Let's keep an eye on this, the turnover, because that's what Louisville wants to get. Last game in Drake, Iowa had 23.
Offensive foul called on Whitehead as he tried to drive the baseline to dish to Otis George. He's called for the personal.
Watch the loose arm. You can see him wrapping around Brunner, who reacts to it. Watch the left arm. Right there, that's the hook. Can't do that because that gives you an advantage.
They did it well, though.
Yeah, well, he got caught.
Turnovers in the game, Iowa 4, Louisville 3 already. DeWitt drives, and the foul will be on Louisville. Otis George called for the blocking foul. A lot of close calls already in this game in terms of the whistle.
Well, I think it's going to be that way, first of all, because Louisville has enough ability to get places and cover territory so fast that there's going to be quick plays, and you either make the adjustment or you can't, and get yourself in foul trouble.
Third team foul on Louisville. Already 6 on Iowa. Driving is Henderson, and he's called for the offensive foul.
I'm telling you, Louisville pressures you with the basketball. Mike, what he's telling Mike Henderson, this is Mike Henderson. You can see the help is coming. Henderson got himself out of control. Right here, pull up, see he's floating forward. If he goes straight up, he's got a chance. But he floats forward, then you have the opportunity to float into somebody and get an offensive foul.
12:58 to go in the first half. This is Brandon Jenkins, a 6'2" freshman from Detroit, number 11. Otis George, 52 for Louisville, as Rick Pitino going pretty deep in his bench already.
Well, that's what I think he's going to be able to do. Henderson picks up a foul trying to guard Garcia on the weak side because Rick Pitino has all his guys active.
And now there are 3 Iowa players. Well, actually, that's the only one with 2 fouls, and DeWitt has 1. as Francisco Garcia goes to the free throw line. Born in the Dominican Republic, parents moved to the Bronx in New York. They played at Lincoln High School. They won the city championship, and with a player of this caliber, it's easy to understand why. He's also a candidate for the Wooden Award this year, along with so many other awards. We're expecting great things from Francisco Garcia at Louisville.
He's going to get numbers, so he'll get his opportunity, and Rick Pitino is going to get him shots because Garcia can make it.
Here's Jeff Horner to Mike Henderson. Henderson carrying those two quick fouls. Just a one man-to-man defense stifling Iowa at the moment. Henderson,
it's a pressuring man-to-man. I mean, they make you have to, take floating shots.
That's Sonderleiter into the game, number 53, with the rebound. Henderson open as they cross court. He draws only the front edge iron. He turns it over, and here comes Garcia.
There's the speed.
Jenkins. And the rebound comes down to 44, Brett Brunner.
And if they're loose balls, Iowa's got to be careful. Good pass inside by DeWitt.
And Brunner goes up to throw down the jam. It's 11-10 Louisville now. Louisville, by the way, only one field goal, but they are 9 of 11 from the free throw line. That's an unusual way to get the 11 points and the 1-point lead. Sellout crowd. There should be around 19,000 here as you look on to Rick Pitino in his 18th season as a head coach. He is 4 wins away from joining that 400-win club.
And it's done an outstanding job, throughout his college career, getting his team prepared, to play in the NCAA tournament. Was one of the first people to really take advantage, one of many, but maybe the first from notoriety, take advantage of the three-point shooting. But the thing that I think he brings most to the table is the ability to defend. I mean, he gets his guys out to be really aggressive. Watch them. They just get you in position, they'll attack. They'll attack you, they'll attack their ball. You see right there, it's pop free. And then you've got to get back, because if you don't, you leave a guy or two back behind the defense, they can get numbers on you.
They are lightning quick. Steve Alford's team, 1 point down. They are 2-0 on the regular season is Iowa. They beat University of North Carolina, Asheville, and Drake in their first 2 games of the season.
And Drake, by the way, had Tom Davis, as you well know, as their coach, who was the coach that Steve Alford replaced.
And we've got an offensive foul, and it is going to be called on Kendall D'Artez. Louisville leads 11-10, nearly halfway through the first half from Conseco Fieldhouse. We have some basketball and some wrestling here for you today.
It's not too early to order your tickets to next year's John R. Wooden Tradition. Next year, the Fighting Illini take on the Gonzaga Bulldogs, and the Cincinnati Bearcats go up against the Purdue Boilermakers. This year's Wooden Tradition was sold out, so if you want to go next year, you need to order tickets now. Go online to woodentradition.com or call 317-917-2500. Don't miss your chance to see one of the most exciting college basketball events live. The 2004 John R. Wooden Tradition, Saturday, November 27th, 2004. Do it now.
Surprise her this holiday with dazzling diamonds from JCPenney. Exquisite 3-stone diamond styles in the latest white gold setting for your past, present, and future. Exceptional diamonds that show how much you care. For the best diamonds, sure to make her sparkle. Where do you unwrap the magic? JCPenney.
Meet amazing new Brillo Scrub and Toss cleaning pads. They flexibly scrub, polish, clean everything you need scratchlessly. The expected things, unexpected things. Expected, unexpected. New Scrub and Toss pads. 2 sides, gentle or tough. Use them dry, use them wet, reuse them. When they get too cruddy, chuck them. They cost next to nothing. Brillo Scrub and Toss. Work them hard, work them long, let them go.
Look good. Really, really good. Now get 50% off all lenses. That's any lens, any prescription. But only till November 29th. LensCrafters, you'll see we're better.
Fashion that's out of this world. Superstation WGN. Here are your winning lottery numbers for Saturday's midday Pick 3 and Pick 4 drawing.
One of the finest basketball and hockey arenas in the country, Conseco Fieldhouse in downtown Indianapolis, Indiana. As Louisville leads it by 1. What a weekend for sports here in Indianapolis. I mean, look at all the events happening just here. Plus, the Colts are playing at the RCA Dome tomorrow. Pacers and Knicks are Thursday, Friday. The tradition here, of course, today. Tomorrow, Butler and Kentucky. It's a weekend. Plus, they have the lighting of a great tree to add to the festivities in Indianapolis. Here's Sean Sonderleiter out to Jeff Horner. Penetration is tough. Back in the game, Brody Boyd carrying through personally.
Well, they also now, Brody Boyd can make jump shots. The Louisville's come back and gotten themselves into a little bit of a zone.
Here is Brunner from about 10 feet, hit the side of the basket. He had to shoot over defensive pressure.
I'm sorry, Bob. I think the shot got partially blocked.
And back it just into the game is Nate Daniels, who is their best three-point shooter. He hits that one, but coming into this game, in the 2 exhibitions, Nate Daniels was only 1 of 11. But as shooters know, he'll just keep shooting.
Yeah, shooters will shoot. Oh, you got a tough time. You get pinned on the sideline against this active defense. Look, you got Garcia at 6'8" out with Brody Boyd at 5'10".
Here's Brunner inside. Brunner's a powerful man. Brunner is only 6'7", but he goes 240. He's a sophomore.
Good strong take that time.
Louisville 14, Iowa 12. Here's Nate Daniels looking inside for Garcia. Coming off the curl is Jenkins. Pretty good defense being played by Iowa at the moment also. This is Jeff Horner defending Garcia.
But you really want Garcia that way, because what Garcia's not as good at, see, he doesn't handle the ball that well. He travels. See, he's a good shooter, but you'd rather have him put the ball on the floor.
Reggie Theus, one of the assistant coaches for Rick Pitino, former NBA broadcast partner of mine, but a great shooter, of course, at UNLV and in the pros, is working a lot with Garcia. And I asked him about him, and he says, well, his reputation as a jump shooter, there's Reggie, is deserved. However, he said the same thing you just did, Quinn, that he has got to get better at getting his own shot and getting the ball on the floor.
Yeah, you know, Reggie played many years, had a great career at UNLV, and obviously played many years in professional basketball, and, his resume, as it were, went through television and the whole deal, and he decided he wanted to coach, and he's come back. But what Reggie knows is jump shooters, you make them put the ball on the floor, and Garcia is going to have to do that if he wants to continue to play basketball successfully.
Anything in the paint is trouble. Here's Sonderleiter. He's called for the offensive foul. Sonderleiter, we were worried about whether or not he was going to play today because he had a sore knee yesterday, but he's trying to make a go. That's his first person.
Well, he had a sore knee. They said it was hyperextended. He did not even practice yesterday. As I talked to Steve Alford, he was concerned about not having that size on the floor. That's exactly what Rick Pitino was concerned about, but differently. He didn't want that size on the floor.
And one of the senior leaders for Iowa not playing today, matter of fact, he'll be out until at least after the first 2 years, Glenn Worley. He has a broken hand. Here is Boyd. DeWitt tries to get inside, and look at that. He is facing 3 defenders. They do call a foul, however, on Taekwon Dean, and that'll be his first. Apparently, the only way to be successful in the paint for Iowa is either through penetration or to get a posted low for somebody like Reiner or Brunner.
Well, you can get ball penetration. The problem is dribble penetration, because of the quickness of Louisville, just doesn't happen that often. Every now and then you'll get an open shot, but as a rule, they're too quick with their hands and feet.
As you see, Pierce was stopped there, tried to get it down to Reiner. The turnover comes to Louisville, and we've got another turnover for Louisville as Whitehead travels. There's that full court pressure on the inbound play.
Not to mention the pressure they get from Coach Pitino.
Yeah, it's 4 on 3.
Oh, coaches that coach with that kind of energy, generally what they get players to do is not be as concerned about what the media says, television and internet and what have you. They make you more concerned about pleasing them than worried about pleasing those people that are writing. And I think that's a very effective tool for a coach to be able to have. Some people are able to do it with a gentle touch. Some don't do it with a gentle touch.
Pitino's old school in that sense. Of course, coached for the Knicks and the Celtics and Kentucky, and now here in Louisville. There's another foul as the penetration by Pierce draws it. A lot of fouls called so far in this ball game. Been 8 called against Louisville.
You can see right there, Pierce trying to split it a little bit and got bumped off. Rick Pitino's concerned, as would be Steve Alford, as to whether or not Rick Pitino can withstand the foul situation, because Pitino does not believe he has enough depth that has experience and to be able to handle that.
Pierce usually a good free throw shooter, and this is his first attempt. Louisville remains in front, 14-12, 8:55 to go first half. Naquan Dean defended by Brody Boyd. He's trying the penetration, not there. Nate Daniels, long range.
Oh, good rebound by
Jeff Brunner, the point guard.
Yeah, that's a big boy. Good job to come back and help.
He averaged 4 rebounds a game in the first 2.
You got to get there.
And there is Brody Boyd for 3, and just like that, Iowa regains the lead, 15-14.
And you got to get to Brody Boyd. That's what he does. He's a three-point shooter.
Dartez, you see him out on the high post lot, number 1. He's the center. Garcia has been shut down. He has 1 field goal. Nate Daniels missing from the corner, and we have a foul against Louisville.
Dartez got that foul. He pushed in the back.
Dartez now has 2 personals for the Cardinals. Pierce has 2, and Boyd has 2 for the Iowa Hawkeyes. And here is Jared Weiner, 6'11", 255. Among other things, he has the highest GPA on the team, and he's also the returning Big Ten leader in rebounding. Goes at 255 pounds.
He is a big, big kid.
Brunner and DeWitt will sit down for the Hawkeyes. Look at the free throws. 11 attempted already by the Cardinals. 1 out of 2 for Jared Weiner on that trip for the Hawkeyes. Leading by 2 now, 16-14. Muhammad just checked in the game, number 13 for Louisville. Otis George. Naquan Dean.
Not afraid to get it there for him.
And that's a
3. Yeah, absolutely. He is their experienced starter.
We've had 5 lead changes already. That Louisville pressure defense knocks it out of bounds. It'll be Iowa ball when we come back. This is a tough physical game here in game 1 of the 4th annual tradition.
I want to be
a doctor, a writer,
An astronomer.
a singer.
I want to be the best.
We see potential in every student.
At first, it was hard.
You can achieve.
I found support, understanding.
I found encouragement.
And expertise.
We challenge students.
We expect results.
When I finally got it, wow.
Wow. Whoa. Learning. Uncovering. Exploring. Finding that you can achieve anything. I found my personal best at the University of Iowa.
How's the weather? No, I'm making a sneak.
With AT&T One Rate USA, you can make all the calls you want from home for one flat rate.
I would expect the same from...
It's the plan that encourages you to talk.
No, it's the blender. No, the blender. I hate the desert.
And talk.
Oh, my goodness. When did that happen?
And talk.
How long have you guys been dating?
Call anyone, anywhere in the country, whenever you want.
What?
It's all for one flat monthly rate with your choice of calling features.
No, I'm just coming in. I gotta go clean up the poison rack.
Call 1-800-ATT-4OL to sign up. AT&T One Rate USA. It's the perfect plan for those who like to take advantage of a good thing. Or in this case, your mother's good thing.
Only ours
Out's air sanitizer kills odor-causing bacteria in the air.
I mostly sprayed Lysol in the air. I thought Lysol was an air sanitizer.
It's true, Lysol works on surfaces, but it's not meant for the air. Only Out's air sanitizer kills 99.9% of odor-causing bacteria in the air.
My daughter Carly, like a tomboy, her clothes are stinky and gross. Little spray right away. It smells great, just fresh.
Get odor-causing bacteria out with Out's sanitizer. S.C. Johnson, a family company.
Out gets rid of the odors, doesn't mask the odors.
5 lead changes in the game. Louisville up by a point right now. Stacy Pates over by the Iowa bench. Stacy.
Thanks, Bob. Steve Alford is very happy with the way his team is playing. He says they're being patient on offense, and that is something, guys, that he's really preaching. Take shots, be patient on offense, and as we can see, they've regained the lead, and that's working for them, that patience, guys.
You know, yeah, Stacy, that's a good report, because as we said yesterday and talked to Steve Alford, one of the things that he shared is he felt that Louisville will play defense early in the clock. So he wanted his team to be patient to see if they'll play it late in the shot clock. And then some guys get tired. I mean, you know how you have form early? If you're running and late, you lose all of that form. Well, that's what Steve Alford is kind of trying to tell his team, that the potential is.
Pierce with the attempt at penetration lost the ball, but regained it. This is Pierre Pierce. They are counting on him big time to handle the ball and to score for Iowa this year. He is the leading scorer. Long-range three from Brody Boyd. Wow.
Well, you know, Brody Boyd's from Indiana. I mean, and so he's back, you know, if you will, in front of the hometown people. And obviously feeling pretty comfortable.
Otis George tries the long range. That was just inside the line. Here's another rebound for the point guard, Jeff Horner, for Iowa. It'll be Iowa ball, leading 19-17, 7 minutes to go in the first half of game 1.
I mean, Brody Boyd, they'll look for it. They set a screen for him, and then if you get out there too late, you'll just get a jump shot in your eye.
There's a nice pass from Jared Reiner down to Greg Brunner. And that's 12 points in the paint for Iowa, none for the Louisville Cardinals.
Well, that's again what Rick Pitino was concerned about, the size of Iowa, but Iowa's ability, and this is the thing that they do really well. They have great interior passing. I mean, if they get it inside, they can still make plays with it. I mean, you get the ball right here. Reiner gets, now he's double teamed. Now you see right there, he finds the open man because of the double team, and it's Brunner for the easy basket. It's one thing for Brunner to be open. It's entirely different for somebody to make the pass. Right there is the gentleman at 6'9" that made the pass.
Yeah, the Big Ten's leading rebounder last year, Jared Reiner. And a nice pass, and the lead has grown to 4. The biggest lead of the game so far is 4. We've had 5 lead changes already with just under 7 minutes to go in the first half. This is game 1 in the 4th annual Wooden Tradition. Game 2, following this on most of these stations, will be Indiana and Xavier. A lot of Hoosier fans here, of course, in Indianapolis.
Oh, no doubt about that. And Xavier has the main stop. So he's a preseason All-American. So that's something to take a look at with Tracy White in that game.
Out to Taekwon Dean. He puts down the 3. And it's a 1-point Iowa lead. It's this pressure.
Now you got to make a good decision.
Horner was fouled before he put the ball up. Let's see if they call it as a shooting foul. I doubt it.
Oh, no, it's a shooting foul. There's no doubt.
They are.
Because Horner made sure that Horner didn't think he was going to get the shot up. Now you're watching, look, he's just trying to get it up. He knew good and well that the best thing he could get out of it after he started was to get fouled. Coach Alford to have it.
Jeff Horner, a 75% free throw shooter. Jeff is from Mason City, Iowa, and this is his first one. He's a 6'3", 185 sophomore, playing with a little bit of a sore ankle. But he had 9 assists in the second game of the year for Iowa against Drake, and that was his career high.
Well, he's an experienced point guard. I mean, he was 4th in the Big Ten and started all the games last year, so 31 games. So he has a good feel for what he's doing. But more importantly, Steve Alford obviously has a lot of confidence in him. Now Horner has Garcia, and we'll see how well he guards Garcia.
Boyd on Taekwon Dean, spinning and turning, nowhere to go. Lane all blocked up. Here's Whitehead from the baseline. About an 8-footer. Luke Whitehead puts down. And now we've had our 6th lead change. 22-21 Cardinals.
Oh, What a good play that was. He was coming to the side to the half where double team could happen and just started the other way, and the defense had to quit.
Steve Alford was talking about that so much yesterday, about the don't let the sideline trap you. We've got a hooking foul. And that's going to be the third foul on George, number 52.
Well, coming across right here, you see, that's the matchup right there. See that loose? It felt that arm on Reiner impeded his progress, so they called the foul on George, who looked in disbelief.
He said, who's going to impede the progress of somebody who weighs 255 pounds anyway?
Well, I was going to say, they got to get him out of the game. At first, it looked and it didn't look like Coach Pitino was going to get him out.
Kendall D'Artez, number 1, comes back in. D'Artez has 2 personals himself. And the soft touch for Jared Reiner. Tied at 22, 41 to go in the first half. Along with Justin Allen, Stacey Tate, Glenn Buckner. This is Bob Neal from Conseco Fieldhouse. The lob, but an offensive foul first, wave off the basket from Whitehead.
No, he got so anxious. I mean, it really was nothing. And he just got anxious and just pushed the Iowa defender in the back.
And that's 2 personals against him. Look at this. It's going to take 4 players down on this end for Iowa to get that ball inbounded. And they're still having some trouble time with it. It's Jeff Horner and Boyd collide.
Well, if you look at, as we look at the floor, there are 3 ball handlers on the floor for Iowa. But Pierce is really a ball handling kind of, he's a forward. I mean, you see how active he is.
As he got his own miss, Pierce puts it back up from 8 feet away. Iowa up. Here is Francisco Garcia, and he has been quiet. 1 field goal in this first half.
He has been very quiet.
Oh, Horner committed the foul. I was about to say Jeff Horner has done a heck of a job defending Garcia.
Well, you'll watch. You see that. Watch him reach in here. Oh, no question about it. He reaches in, and they're not going to allow that to happen. So Horner did a nice job getting around the screen.
That'll be the first personal for Jeff Horner as Garcia steps to the line. Garcia has 8 points, but 6 of them are from the free throw line. Now make it 7. 1 field goal for Garcia. He's had trouble even getting up a shot.
Bob, when you're as good a shooter as he is, he's probably going to get fouled because he's going to be guarded pretty closely. Now, to the advantage of Louisville, 83% foul shooter.
And he is 8 of 9 today and has 10 points. That leads all scorers in the game. Tied at 24, Louisville, Iowa. 5:02 to go in the first half. This is Boyd, defended by Taekwon Dean. The trap steps up. Boyd got rid of it to Pierce. Pierce penetrates the paint. Dishes inside to Brunner.
They are really good. They're cutting this zone up, this defense up.
Remember, this is a veteran Iowa team, and as you can see, and as you know better than anybody, Quinn, they are well coached. Second foul on Dean.
Where they attacked the basket, Pierce attacked it and got the ball to Brunner. Defense had to react late, and Brunner got fouled. But when the press has been up, Iowa was taking advantage of it. And that's what Rick Pitino was worried about, that experience and ability to take advantage of a press.
Brunner is 4 out of 5 on the floor. And he's 1 of 1 now from the free throw line. Mike Henderson back in, the freshman guard for the Hawkeyes. Brunner gets them both. It's a 2-point lead, 26-24. Jenkins running it at the point. Over to Daniels, number 30. Daniels rims it out. Rebound, Jared Reiner. Reiner out on the high post, tries to get it to Brunner. Brunner on the double team, powers his way as he tries to get inside. Knocked out of bounds by Louisville.
Well, he's got to be careful in there because Louisville's got quick hands, and they'll come and take that one right out of his back pocket. Oh, ball faking good.
Brody Boyd tried to get it down to Brunner. He was defended too well. He's corner now, back out to Brody. Jeff Horner.
Yeah, look at this. This is what a veteran team will do. They'll pull it back out.
And the doesn't fall.
They want that shot, though.
They got the good open look.
Oh, just threw that one to the fans.
Jenkins threw it away.
To the Iowa bench.
He's trying to get it to Al-Haji Mohammed, number 13. Rick Pitino, you know, he's in the racehorse owning business, and he and his staff, he got to invest in one of the horses, and the horse was just terrible. Couldn't win, and then just 3 to go at Churchill Downs, the horse that was a 55-to-1 favorite, a 55-to-1 long shot, won, but none of the coaches or Pitino placed a bet on it.
Gotta have a little more confidence in your investment.
Yeah, Rick said he's much better coaching basketball than owning racehorses. Reiner in the middle. Nate Daniels trying to defend him. Reiner missing, and the rebound comes down to Daniels. Whitehead back out to Daniels, their best long-range shooter. Well, second best long-range shooter to Garcia. And the foul's going to be called on Garcia, and that'll be his first personal. We're going to take a break here with 3:28 remaining in the first half of play from Conseco Fieldhouse. Iowa leads by 2.
Hi, I saw these at 4 Eyes for less.
These are special glasses. They come with some extra looks.
Apollo.
Gathering Storm. Victim.
4 Eyes. Find the brands, find the prices, lose the attitude.
Budapest Encounter.
我向你买了这个不好意思，比你便宜。
真的吗？我不逛了是。
4 Eyes. Find the brands, find the prices, lose the attitude.
Jeff Horner hit his first free throw to give the Iowa Hawkeyes a 3-point lead, and now make it 4 with 3:28 to go in the half. And now we have a timeout requested by and received from Rick Pitino and the Louisville Cardinals. Down 4 to the big Iowa Hawkeyes.
I love to run, and it's not a problem. The hair goes with me when I run.
I would always wear a hat, even in the pool.
My tennis game has improved. I don't know, it just feels like I'm always acing the guy.
Hello, I'm Don Parker. Hair loss is an all-too-common problem. But finally, there's good news.
The Parker solution to hair loss?
No. I just saved a bunch of money on my car insurance by switching to Geico.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
The Cat in the Hat is in theaters November 21st. Annie's here to red and white striped candy and specially marked packages of Kit Kat and other Hershey products. Fun and win a trip to Universal Orlando Resort. Many will play, 100 will win. Looking for a winner is half the fun.
What has 4 Eyes? And let the kids' creative mind take flight? The Creativity Table from Play-Doh. It's the perfect place for squishing, weaving, and drawing on their imagination. The Creativity Table from Play-Doh. Where will it take you practically anywhere?
There was 1 blade, then 2, then 3. But 4 blades? Give me a break. Wrong. The new Schick Quattro has the power of 4 blades and 2 conditioning strips, which makes Quattro unlike any other razor. Those 4 blades have an incredibly close, smooth shave. Your 5 o'clock shadow shows up late. 4 blades. Where will it stop? Here. Schick Quattro, the power of 4.
Iowa leading by 4. Rick Pitino of Louisville said yesterday in the news conference that you've got to know how much I respect Coach John Wooden and like this tournament to come back after losing last year. Second year. Purdue got Louisville Cardinals in an upset here last year.
Yeah, and there's one of the things with Louisville in this contest has a tough time staying with Purdue because Purdue is active, was able to knock down shots. You can see right there, 86-84. Purdue had been struggling, if you will, over the last couple of years, and they played well last season, principally because they got an early season win here against Rick Pitino at the Wooden Tradition.
There was Luke Whitehead missed that shot to Louisville right at the buzzer that would have sent it into overtime. Luke Whitehead with the ball right now, number 24, to Francisco Garcia. Whitehead open for the jumper after the double team on Garcia. And the loose ball comes down to Jeff Horner. That's his 3rd rebound.
But for his position, he really goes and gets the ball. Good pass inside.
With Jared Reiner, it's stripped away. It will belong to the Hawkeyes with 3 minutes to go in the first half.
The Louisville Cardinals are going to have to get control of Horner. If they don't, they really will have a tough time winning this game because he's starting to get the ball where the Hawkeyes needed to get.
Impressive point guard. Gets it to the freshman, Mike Henderson. There's the patience that Iowa's showing.
They're trying to get it inside the center.
Tipped away from Muhammad to Jenkins. Nice speed as Jenkins saw nowhere to shoot. Gave it to Whitehead. And we have a 2-point Iowa lead.
And Whitehead did a nice job of getting himself into the break to help a teammate out who jumped and then looked to pass.
Garcia trying to defend corner to Mike Henderson. He dribbled right into a double team in the corner. Pierce, quick first step inside to Jared Weiner.
Boy, that dribble penetration by Pierce is causing Louisville all kinds of trouble.
Reiner has 6. Brunner has 10 for the Hawkeyes, who lead it by 4 once again. Garcia just can't get a shot up. Over to Muhammad from the baseline corner, and that's a triple. Haji Muhammad, the 6'3" senior guard from, I love his town, Country Club Hills, Illinois.
Yes, he's the brother of Nazi Muhammad, who went to Kentucky.
1-point Iowa lead. Louisville crowd on their feet as Pierce misses.
There's Horner again.
That's his 4th rebound. With 1:30 to go in the first half, Steve Alford looks pleased with his team. He gets the timeout.
30-second timeout. That's a good timeout because he needed to try to get something out of this possession because Steve Alford's team, they're starting to tire, lose a little bit of their form because of the constant pressure that's been placed upon them by Louisville.
Yeah, and it's really a problem in terms of depth with Glenn Worley, their 6'7" senior, being out with his broken hand. Here's what Iowa's done so far. They beat UNC Asheville and Drake. Neither, to be frank about it, a real test for the Hawkeyes. This is their first test. And their upcoming schedule is not too bad. Of course, coaches think they're all tough.
Well, yes, but I think coaches have to figure out what his team's going to need under the circumstances. This will be an emotional game. That is against Bob Knight's Texas Tech team at Dallas, who just pummeled yesterday by Georgia Tech.
And here's what Louisville's facing. First of the season. You know, Rick Pitino says we can't get in Freedom Hall because they have tractor pulls and agriculture shows early in the season, and this is Kentucky after all.
Well, they've got shared facilities, and that's just part of the adjustments you have to make.
And it will go in. That lob to Luke Whitehead. 9 lead changes as Louisville takes a 1-point lead.
Yeah, Whitehead was clear offside. But I wasn't sure if that wasn't goaltending because it looked like it crumbled in his hand and it just kind of got in the basket. And if that's the case, if it's over the basket, you got to let it go.
44 seconds in the half, 14 on the shot clock. Nobody can get a shot up here far, except for Horner, who missed a 3. Rebound comes down to the freshman Anderson. He misses.
And that's a freshman mistake because you had 35 on the clock when he got the offensive rebound. And Iowa gets the break.
And Louisville turned it over.
Yeah, because Louisville turns it over.
That's 9 turnovers for Louisville, 8 Iowa in this first half.
And you can see Rick Pitino was saying the same thing. We need to get one shot. They got one shot moments ago, and that shot was a lob right there. Muhammad to Whitehead. That was not. The ball was outside the cylinder. He fumbled it into the cylinder. At any rate, they got the basket.
He wanted, of course, to get style points with a big 2-hand throwdown, but it counts 2 anyway. Louisville leading by 1, 10 seconds to go in the half. Brody, nice dribble, pump fake. He misses, follow by DeWitt. I heard a whistle just as he was putting in, though.
Well, they call it on the side. And I think they call it on... Yeah, what happens is on the weak side, you can see right here, Perrin Johnson, see, he just throws Brunner out of the way, and the official was right there and caught it.
So, DeWitt gets his dunk taken away. Brunner now goes to the line. And he's there. Iowa is now 7 of 12 from the line. Only 4 seconds to go in the half. Very evenly played game. 2 different, very contrasting styles.
Well, the thing that's helped Iowa is that on their turnovers, they've only given up 8 points. When you play a team like Rick Pitino, who forces in the neighborhood of 25, 26 turnovers a game, if you don't do that, then you give yourself a chance.
Well, we have a tie, 31-31. Louisville and Iowa. We're off to a good start with the 4th annual Wooden Tradition. First game here, Louisville, Iowa. Second game coming up immediately following this on most of the stations will be Indiana Xavier. At the half, a tie game. Justin Allen coming up with halftime right after this.
Get off the bench and into the game with sports on Superstation WGN. From the hardwood to the hard hit.
15-10, touchdown.
Get inside the huddle with college hoops, college football,
Great block.
professional basketball. This is where the playmakers play. Superstation WGN, where sports is always in season.
It was a dull day. You know what? No. When all of a sudden something knocked at the door. It was the Cat in the Hat, and just like that, there appeared really cool fun from Radio Shack.
Only the Shack has these cool toys. The Cat Slow Car, the Fish Flashlight, and special edition Zip Zap.
Their day turned wild, and they never looked back, thanks to the Cat in the Hat and his toys from the...
Toys sold separately, batteries not included. At Radio Shack, Dr. Seuss's The Cat in the Hat in theaters November 21st.
The new AOL disc is here.
It's great. Let's go put it in. Oh, boy.
Oh.
Can't believe that it's done.
Hold on, folks.
It's Jerry Stewart.
That's AOL 9.0 Optimize you've got there, people. You've been getting lots of discs, I know. But there's so many new features on that disc, I couldn't possibly list them. Even the usually skeptical press is giving AOL 9.0 rave reviews.
Oh, look, honey. Dramatically cut spam.
Satisfaction guaranteed for 90 days or your money back. Well, try it. I'll bet you'll be using an old Snoop Dogg CD to finish that beautiful art.
Now wait just one minute.
AOL 9.0 Optimized. So much new, you've got to try it.
Welcome back to Conseco Fieldhouse. Game 1 of the Wooden Tradition, Louisville versus Iowa, and right now is a tie game, 31-31. I have a lot planned here for you on this Wooden Tradition halftime show. But first, we talked yesterday to Rick Pitino, Louisville head coach, and Steve Alford, head coach of Iowa. We asked them what impact has John Wooden had on their team, and here's what they said.
Well, I've been fortunate enough to know him for a long time, and I think when you say the word coach, I think in all sports, you think in terms of two people. One, John Wooden, the other, Vince Lombardi, when you think of coach. And that word certainly, he epitomizes everything you'd want in a coach. Class, great teacher, care for and concern for the young people, academically as well as athletically. So really, he's at the top of coaching pyramid, certainly of success, that he wrote a long time ago. I grew up in Martinsville, Indiana for 4 years of my life, so I can remember as a youngster in first grade going to that gymnasium and seeing his portrait on the wall. Great player at Purdue, great player at Martinsville High School, and then obviously what he did at UCLA from a coaching standpoint. So, but I think the thing I know most about Coach Wooden is the kind of person he is. I was probably a little bit too young to appreciate his coaching abilities. I remember him most now that I'm into coaching, and the things I've had to do with him is just the quality type of person he is. He had a dynasty at UCLA, a dynasty in terms of not only were they going to be the best coach team on the court, but they also had the best players. It didn't matter if they were living in New York City or they were living in L.A. They were going to UCLA at that time.
All right, it's great what Coach Wooden has helped do for two of the top coaches in college basketball today. All right, it's time to take a break here on the Wooden Tradition halftime show. When we come back, we'll hear from one of the organizations that helps make the Wooden Tradition more than just basketball, but also helping people out.
Millions of adults with high cholesterol, diet and exercise aren't always enough. Adding Lipitor can help lower your total cholesterol 29 to 45%. Lipitor is not for everyone, including people with liver problems and women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. Simple blood tests are needed to check for liver problems. Tell your doctor about other medications you are taking, or if you experience muscle pain or weakness, as they may be a sign of a serious side effect. So take the next step. Ask your doctor if Lipitor is for you.
Hello? Can we talk about 10-10-987? Have you tried it?
I haven't made long-distance phone calls in his
It doesn't matter. If you make 1 call or 100 calls, same price. 3 cents a minute and then 39 cents to connect anywhere in the United States. So do you know how it works? First you dial 10-10-987, then 1, then the area code. You know how much it is?
3 cents a minute plus 39 cents for the connection.
Will you try it after I
Yes.
left your apartment?
Yes, I promise you I will.
You can use the little paw to actually dial the 10-10-987.
See, he wants you to hold hands with him.
How did we design the Kia Sorento to attain the highest quality? How did it get the government's highest safety rating? How did we back it with such a great warranty and still price it thousands less than the competition? How did we do all this? We worked our freaking tails off. That's how. The obsessively perfected Kia Sorento. Get remaining 03 Sorentos for $19,635 after $1,000 cash back, plus $1,000 owner loyalty bonus for qualified buyers.
Welcome back to Conseco Fieldhouse. Game 1 of a doubleheader here for the Wooden Tradition. Good afternoon. I'm Justin Allen. What a day of basketball we have for this Thanksgiving weekend. So far, this game is tied at 31. Louisville and Iowa going at it. All right, time now to send things live over to Stacy Pace, who is standing by live, but a very important person to the John R. Wooden Tradition. Stacy.
Thanks, Justin. This is Ron Christian, is the Executive Vice President of Vector. Talk to me about the significance of the award. This is not just about a basketball tournament, but also excellence in education. Talk about that award.
Absolutely. From veterans' perspective, one of the cornerstones of our corporate culture is promoting education in the communities that we serve. And we think like basketball, teaching in the classroom is really preparing people for life. And we're just very happy to be part of this award process.
A lot of people, when you think of John Wooden, you automatically think synonymous with basketball, but he started out as a teacher in Indiana, an English teacher. How do you see him really appreciate this kind of award at a basketball tournament, but to recognize education?
Well, I had the good fortune to spend last evening with Coach Wooden, and he indicated that from his perspective, classroom teachers are a lot more important than basketball coaches because they impact the lives of so many people and prepare them for the period of time after school. And so I think he sincerely feels that this is a great thing to honor these classroom teachers.
Statewide, only 10 teachers were chosen to be honored with this award. How were those 10 recipients selected?
Well, there's a nomination process that closes in the spring, and anyone can nominate a teacher who's involved in either a public or private school in grades K through 12, and then there is a committee of former award winners who ultimately make the selection.
Ron, thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you.
Justin, back over to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Stacey. Yeah, and just as a reminder, between today's games, our own Bob Mills sat down with Coach Wooden yesterday. We'll get Coach Wooden's thoughts on the state of today's game in college basketball, so you definitely do not want to miss that. But coming up next, we'll recap the first half between Louisville and Iowa. Game tied at 31.
Kleenex Ultra Soft Tissues have 3 germ-blocking layers, so you can share moments, not your germs. Thank goodness for Kleenex tissue.
It's cold. My sinuses feel like they're going to explode. Aisle 5.
My allergies have my sinuses all stuffed up.
Aisle 5.
Now tell them where you feel the pressure.
Yeah. Aisle 5.
Come on.
Sinus misery? Get Sudafed. Nothing stronger at relieving even your worst sinus symptoms. Not even a prescription.
I'm so congested.
Sudafed, aisle 5.
Sudafed, prescription strength sinus relief. And for a sinus headache, try maximum strength Sudafed, sinus headache.
When you
you leave here, you'll be lean, mean, computer-buying machine. I'll give you the skills, the smarts, and the courage.
I do not have to settle for what's on the shelf. Your PC jargon has no effect on me.
It won't be easy. Drop down and give me 50. But you'll be able to buy a computer without getting ripped off and sit home crying to your mama.
Want an easier way to buy a PC? Don't go there. Go Dell. Forget all the mega this and giga that. Just tell Dell what you want to do with your PC in plain English. They'll build one that fits your life and your budget. Like this Dimension desktop with an Intel Pentium 4 processor. It's just $4.99 after mail-in rebate. Plus, you'll get free shipping and a free CD burner. Notebooks start at $5.99.
Why don't you just quit?
I still don't know how to format a hard drive. Your perfect PC. Easy as Dell.
Dell PCs use Intel Pentium 4 processor.
All right, welcome back to the Wood Tradition halftime show. It is tied at 31 between Louisville and Iowa. Joining me now is Quinn Buckner. And Quinn, quite a game so far. Louisville looking like they have some problems early on, although it's the first game of the season. What can you expect?
Yeah, they're going to have some problems early in the season. They have been able to apply a little bit of pressure, which I think they really wanted to do. What they haven't been able to do is really turn Iowa over the way they would like so they can get some easy baskets. But as you can see, they really haven't shot the ball well from the perimeter, and Iowa's experience has paid off for Iowa.
Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the first half highlights here. And we're going to start with a WWF-type play. Francisco Garcia and Pierre Pierce just going at it. What exactly is going on here, Quinn?
Well, you see Pierce locked up on him. And, I mean, so they make the right call, I think, in terms of what's going on. Because if you don't get to Garcia, he can knock down shots. And I think Son knocked down some shots early. Now, he's got a great move himself, but that's Luke Whitehead doing it. And here, Whitehead again, running, staying active. So it's really important that you try to find a way to be a part of what your team's doing.
And how about the big man, Brunner, for Iowa, playing some serious games today?
Yeah, he really is. At halftime, yesterday I was talking to Steve Alford. He said he really likes this kid because he plays with power. It was one of the things that concerned Coach Pitino, as you can take a look right there at the first half stats. And again, you can see the points in the paint, the size for Iowa. And the big key, look at Louisville, just 5 fast break points. That's what keeps them down, and they've shot the ball okay, but they have taken a number of three-point shots.
All right, so we're looking forward to hear a great second half of this game. And Quinn, you're a working man today. We'll see you call that game here in just a bit. But for now, that's it. Tradition halftime show. We'll see you for the second half right after this.
Am I interested in changing my long-distance carrier?
Do you have a problem with these? These clothes.
Why don't you make a John Becker special?
Try a sandwich made of crab, bologna, and bull.
Hey, dancing is Becker, letting loose all week long. Now, weeknights at 7 on Superstation WGN.
Shut up and watch.
Jimbo! Hey! How's the weather? No, I'm making a smoothie.
With AT&T One Rate USA, you can make all the things you want from home for one flat rate.
I would expect the same from...
It's the phone plan that encourages you to talk.
No, it's the blender. No, the blender. I hate the desert.
And talk.
Oh, my goodness. When did that happen?
And talk.
How long have you guys been dating?
Call anyone, anywhere in the country, whenever you want.
What?
It's all for one flat monthly rate with your choice of calling features.
No, I'm just coming in. I gotta go clean up. This place is a wreck.
Call 1-800-ATT-4ALL to sign up. AT&T One Rate USA. It's the perfect plan for those who like to take advantage of a good thing. Or in this case, your mother's good thing.
These are the Jones boys. And this is Mom, who's found a way to keep up with the Joneses. Pledge wipes with orange oil. The only wipes with both the power of orange oil to help her clean fast. And Pledge conditioners to make the shine last. Because this isn't just any wipe with orange oil. It's a Pledge wipe with orange oil. S.C. Johnson, a family company.
Welcome back to Conseco Fieldhouse. Ready for the second half of this game between Iowa and Louisville. All knotted up at 31-31. Quinn Buckner, along with Bob Neal. And we will have not only this game, but on most of these stations, also Game 2 of today's doubleheader. And that will be Indiana Xavier. A lot of Indiana Hoosier fans here, along with the Louisville fans. This place is a sea of red. Let's have a look at the leading scorers from the first half. For Iowa, first of all, Greg Brunner, who's been powerful down inside, as Quinn was talking about just a moment ago, has 11, Reiner 6, and Boyd 6. Horner and Pierce with 4 each, but Horner's game has been 4 rebounds from the point guard position. Over at Louisville's side, Garcia has 10 points, but only 1 field goal. Whitehead with 7, Dean 6, and Mohammed and Daniels with 3 points apiece. So we've had the kind of game we expected, and that was that Louisville applying the full-court pressure, using their quickness, Iowa trying to find a way to score in the paint, and they have, in fact, done that, outscoring Louisville in the paint 16-6, and we are underway for the second half of this game from Conseco Fieldhouse, the 4th annual Wooden Tradition. Here's Jeff Horner. Horner with the ball fake and the dish to Pierce. Trying to go back inside again, and a Louisville foul. It is going to be on D'Artez, and that's his 4th personal.
Well, I think that's his 4th.
Yes, it is. It is.
Yeah, I believe that's his 4th foul.
We've got on our official stats monitor here only his 3rd. We'll check it out. I thought it was his 4th. Pierce misses, tip in by Brunner.
Well, again, inside play. That was what was of concern for Pitino.
And every righty. 18 points in the paint for Iowa. With the 2-point lead. O'Bannon. And the ball dribbled off the foot of D'Artez. Brody Boyd to Jeff Horner.
Give it right back to him. Let him shoot it.
Boyd for 3. Rebound, Whitehead. He's the leading rebounder in the game, by the way, with 7 now. Here is O'Bannon. That would have been a 3 also. He misses everything. Iowa back with it, leading by 2. Opening moment, second half.
Well, no, that must have been his 3rd, because it's still up there as his 3rd, but he's just got 4.
Now he's got 4. So when D'Artez has not played, they've brought Otis George in, and Otis George also is playing with 3 fouls.
You can expect that what you'll see from Iowa is as often as they can, they'll get the ball down inside, because all of the big people from Louisville have gotten in foul trouble.
Pierce having trouble putting it in the bucket. There's an over-the-back foul, as Pierce is now 2 of 6. And that's the 3rd personal on Pierre Pierce. O'Bannon is 34 to Otis George, in for D'Artez, who is out with 4 fouls. Garcia now defended by Brunner.
Well, they just switched it, but what they've done to him almost every time he's touched it, you watch, they get into him. They don't like him to dribble the ball, because you can see if you let him get around, there's too many good things that he makes happen.
That's the 4th tie of this ball game at 33. Good dish from Garcia to Luke Whitehead. Whitehead with 9 points. Here's Reiner, not really a face-up player, out to Brunner. The bounce pass, ill-advised from Horner, picked off by Garcia. From the corner, O'Bannon, that's a 3. Larry O'Bannon.
Right off the turnover, though. That's where they get it. They get into a little rhythm off the turnover, and they'll keep the pressure up. Especially when they make shots, Bob, they can keep the pressure up if they have enough time.
That looked like a travel.
It was a travel. And that's what Pitino asked for. Yeah, it was a travel.
Went out of bounds anyway.
You get a chance. Get it to a shooter. You see right there, O'Bannon wide open, knocks it down. And the bench thinks they're starting to get some offensive rhythm.
O'Bannon, a junior from Louisville. He's 6'4", 195. So a 3-point lead by Louisville. We were tied 31-31 at the half. Punched away by Brody Boyd. The 2-on-1 Boyd. What a play.
Good take there. And George may have actually knocked the ball out of his teammate's hand trying to set a screen.
Here's George with the ball. Francisco Garcia trying to get a shot off. Still unable to. Back over to Bannon from the other side corner. He misses this time way out in front. Pierce tried to dunk and missed everything. And he was, I saw an NBA player once do that, and he just kind of headed for the exit.
That would be the thing to do because it's a very good pass. You know, Horner gets it right up and then gets to the basket and just loses the ball.
Pierce is no little guy. He's 6'4". That's an embarrassment. So Louisville, 36-35, 16:52 to go in the game.
But I bet he's got his hands are small and he can't palm it. So the only way he can dunk the ball is by getting it up and let the physical force keep it in his hand and throwing it down, and he lost it.
And with that foul, Pierce now has 4 personals as well. He's 2 of 8 from the floor and carrying 4 personal fouls. He'll go out. And DeWitt comes into the ballgame. Nick DeWitt, the 6'8" sophomore.
Not to mention, and this is the thing that Steve Alford is disappointed about, there were 3 consecutive possessions where the ball was just, you know, you give it to the other team right there by Pierce.
Out of bounds off Otis George. It'll be Iowa ball, trailing by a point. So the matchup that we really wanted to see hasn't developed thanks to defense mainly, and that's Garcia and Pierre Pierce. And Iowa cannot get it in. That's a 5-second call.
And you know what happens? Rick Pitino has changed the defenses up on Steve Alford and Iowa Hawkeyes. Sometimes he pressures the ball. Sometimes he puts 2 people on the guy trying to get the ball in. That time he pressures the ball, and the guy taking it out of bounds, at that time, it was DeWitt was not patient enough to see where the openings were.
For long-range Garcia, he's just trying to get any kind of shot up, but he's not had good looks. There's the wrestling match on the floor this time, and that is Brunner and Otis George.
Well, that's one where neither one of the kids really cared. All they were trying to do is get the ball. Just good effort. Go get it. You see right there, Brunner thinks he has it. George gets it. Brunner tries to get better position, but in the end, it goes back to Louisville.
Taekwon Dean off the curl from the corner in the inbound play. It's 39-35 Louisville. DeWitt looking for Rhino's kick ball and resets the shot clock.
Yeah, but this tempo's starting to pick up, and I'm looking at Brunner because he just got it from the bench to settle down a little bit. You see Taekwon Dean get it up before Brody Boyd could get to him.
That patience is what got Iowa the lead several times in the first half.
Yeah, but the game is being speeded up here by Louisville, by all of their pressure. And you usually speed the game up with defense.
At the high post, Reiner wanted to get it down low to DeWitt, and that smothering defense caused it. That's 12 turnovers now for the Hawkeyes. Just over 15 minutes to go in the ball game, game 1. O'Bannon driving, but that's an offensive foul on Otis George.
Yep.
Well, let's hold it here. Let's see if they are calling that. Maybe not. Maybe not. It is on Otis, that's right, and it is his 4th. 4th foul on George. Louisville leading it by 4th, and we have some foul trouble here in Indianapolis.
Yes, and that's for charging me too much for my glasses.
Four Eyes. Find the brands, find the prices, lose the attitude.
These are nice, but I saw them at 4 Eyes for less.
They're not the same. These are X-ray glasses. Can I interest you in something else?
4 Eyes. Find the brands, find the prices, lose the attitude.
Son, you a Johnson, man. You gotta be a true player. Listen, there ain't a woman born that can resist the motion, bam, of the ocean. Bam.
Love don't cost a thing. Rated PG-13. Starts December 12th.
Hey, where does this go? It does both. Cleaner. Good.
Fact. New Cling 2-in-1 cleans with every flush and fragrances even between flushes. New Cling 2-in-1. Cleaning plus 24 hours of fragrance.
It's time you expected more from an insurance company. Because at Progressive.com, you can get our price for car insurance, plus the rates of other big-name companies.
and that could save you hundreds.
Or if you'd rather talk to someone, give us a call at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
It's time you expected an easier way to buy car insurance. Because at Progressive.com, you can get a quote and buy a policy instantly. In fact, our website is so fast and easy to use, it's been rated #1 7 times in a row. It's time you expected faster claim service. At Progressive, our immediate response vehicles can come right to you. They're like a claims office on wheels.
We make it back on the road fast and easy.
Visit Progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. For fast, friendly service 24 hours a day. We can help you save money, even if it's not with us.
Okay, maybe we're not changing the world, but we are changing the way people buy car insurance.
You can start saving now. Call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE or visit Progressive.com. Progressive. Not what you'd expect from an insurance company.
Foul trouble in this ball game for Iowa. Pierce with 4. Gartez has 4 for Louisville, and Otis George has 4. So we'll keep our eyes on those 3 players.
Well, it's going to be a problem for both coaches, but obviously when you get Pierce in foul trouble, if you take a look at George taking a seat, what you'll find is that, remember when Iowa was successful, they had 3 guards on the floor that could really make plays. Well, they got DeWitt on the floor, and he can't put it on the floor nearly as well as Pierce.
Just barely got rid of it that time with this smothering Louisville defense.
Boy, and I agree with you. I didn't think he got away with it, actually.
And it's stripped away. Once again, that was Whitehead. Whitehead loses it. A scramble on the floor, and there's going to be a foul called against O'Bannon.
The Louisville foul on number 34, Larry O'Bannon, is 3rd.
And that's 3 on O'Bannon. No, check it. Team's 4th, his 3rd.
You can see just knocked Brody Boyd over. He's like, what are we in? The scrum?
Yes.
But teams like that play defense this way, they foul a lot. The question is whether there's a call.
Brunner drives hard to the hole. Once again, foul trouble may have something to do with the ability for Brunner to get down low. And Brunner, by the way, has 15.
Remember I told you got to make him put it down? That's why. If he catches it, and he can really get himself set and score.
There's another turnover. That was only the 2nd field goal in this game for Garcia, Louisville's leading scorer. Knocked out of bounds by Louisville, kept by Iowa.
I'll tell you, the one thing about Rick Pitino's team is his players have half the energy he does. Rick stays up and involved in the game.
Yeah, Reggie Fia is talking about his first coaching job. Here it is with Rick Pitino. He says, we're in the office at 6:45, and Brunner is dangerous inside. He leads all scorers in this game.
And Rick Pitino has seen
17.
Sorry, Bob.
That's all right.
Brunner has had a good game, and Brody Boyd made a nice little penetration move to get there.
So it's 42-39, Louisville by 3. We were tied at 31 at the half. We have 14:32 remaining in this game. It's an interesting game from Louisville's point of view because this is their first regular season game, even though it's November 29th.
It's not too early to order your tickets to next John R. Wooden Tradition. Next year, the Fighting Illini take on the Gonzaga Bulldogs, and the Cincinnati Bearcats go up against the Purdue Panthers. This year's Wooden Tradition was sold out, so if you want to go next year, you need to order tickets now. Go online to woodentradition.com or call 317-917-2500. Don't miss your chance to see one of the most exciting college basketball events live. The 2004 John R. Wooden Tradition, Saturday, November 27th, 2004. Do it now.
It was a dull day. You know, a snore. When all of a sudden something knocked at the door. It was the Cat in the Hat, and just like that, there appeared really cool fun from Radio Shack.
Only the Shack has these cool toys. The Cat Slow Car, the Fish Flashlight, and special edition Zip Zap.
Their day turned wild, and they never looked back, thanks to the Cat in the Hat and his toys from the Shack.
Toys sold separately, batteries not included. At Radio Shack, Dr. Seuss's The Cat in the Hat in theaters November 21st.
Just as quickly as a cold comes on, Theraflu is there to take it on. Ready to warm you, soothe you, immediately. And now that you know relief is on the way, let the day begin. Theraflu. In the past 5 years, cable companies have raised their rates by over 40%. Excessive? We think it's piggish.
It broke my piggy bank. It took my dolly. It took my jewelry.
All right, that's it. Get the kids. We're switching to Dish Network.
Get 50 channels for under $25 a month, a free three-room system, and free installation by calling 1-800-333-DISH. Switch to Dish Network and save now.
What has 4 legs and lets the kids' creative mind take flight? A creativity table from Play-Doh. It's the perfect place for squishing, squeezing, and drawing on their imagination. The creativity table from Play-Doh. Where will it take them? Practically anywhere.
And we are back at Conseco Fieldhouse, a sellout. 19,000 plus here for the doubleheader. First game here, Louisville and Iowa, with Louisville up by 3. Second game on most of these stations will be Indiana and Xavier. Louisville starting to heat up from three-point land. 3 of their last 4 field goal attempts have been threes.
No, they made some adjustments during the halftime, and one of the things they were able to do is realize where they could get some penetration, and if they win like that with a screen and roll, that's a travel. You can't come down.
Yep, that's a travel on Greg Brunner.
Yeah, but once you come down with the ball, I mean, and literally fall with it, they automatically call a travel on you.
That's 13 turnovers for Iowa now, trailing it by 3.
Louisville 21 threes with 14 minutes to go.
Garcia trying to get the shot. Runs into the double team. The leaner won't go. Battle for the rebound.
Boy, Brunner is a battler.
Jump ball.
He's on the floor again.
He's calling.
Oh, big time.
Arrow goes to Iowa.
No, you'll see it goes now from your left. You'll see Brunner come in there. It goes down, and you see he goes and gets it. You got to get down on the floor. You can't try to pick it up. When he's standing up, you got to go down to get it.
For a big man, he's only 6'7", but he weighs 240. Look at this pressure. Horner's looking at 3.
They a 10-second violation.
They got a timeout. Yeah, Steve Alford saw the possibility.
Well, the 25 seconds is on the shot clock. So
he must have got it tenths of seconds before that. Because 10 seconds did elapse.
I always thought on that in order for it to fully elapse, it had to go to 24. Otherwise, you don't get full use of the last second. But obviously, that's not the case.
Well, Greg Brunner is leading all scorers in this game with 17. The blue-collar workers, we're calling him, brought his lunch pail today.
Yeah, he can get to the basket. He's strong. He even took a hit on that one. It did not matter. His teammates look for him, has good rise, and finished around the basket. Steve Alford likes this young man. They like what he's able to bring.
He started 23 games as a freshman. Sophomore this year from Charles City, Iowa. There are his numbers. 3 rebounds, and he's 7 of 8 from the floor. And when he's got it, he's effective. 42-39 Louisville. We were tied 31 at the half. We have 14 minutes to go in this ball game. Along with Stacey Pates, Justin Allen, and Quinn Buckner, Bob Neal with you.
I'm glad to be along for the ride, Bob.
Well, me too. Great college basketball. Brody Boyd with the drive and the kick out to Brunner, and we've got a foul inside, and it's going to be an offensive foul. No, it's 3 seconds in the lane against the Whip.
Yeah, he was just standing there like he had nothing else to do. Steve Alford, not exactly as well. He shouldn't be happy about that one.
Garcia almost missed that pass from Daniels. He was looking the other way, but almost doesn't count. Here's Garcia, the ball on the floor, and the pull-up jumper. It won't go. Reiner with a rebound. Reiner only has 3 rebounds in this game. That'll be Iowa ball. Reiner's the Big Ten's leading rebounder last year.
Well, I'll tell you what, he just went and got in the Witt's chest and told him, you got to take the ball to the basket strong.
Brody Boyd on the penetration. He looked him off and gets it to fall.
Kid drop on you. Take that kid drop.
It was a great look-off, though.
It really was. It was enough to get that split second so he could get the ball through the trees, if you will.
Iowa now has scored 26 points in the paint to 8 for Louisville. Here's the look off again.
Well, first of all, because he can make shots. You see him look. Defender reaches in there. That was Garcia, and you see it touch there softly. And the young fella, Brody Boyd.
That foul, yeah, that foul was on O'Bannon.
Wait, pass
to Greg Brunner. He's running coast to coast. He's battling, going to the floor, getting floor burned.
I mean, and Horner throws the ball fake and just throw a pass that only Brunner could get. The worst could happen is it goes out of bounds.
And Horner has stayed in the face of Garcia all night. Now down low with 4 fouls. Garces gets it to Whitehead, who is fouled.
And Brunner was... Oh, they gave it to DeWitt, but I didn't think there's any question that Brunner hammered him.
He got the hammer in, and DeWitt gets punished.
Whitehead with 2 shots.
DeWitt now has 2 personals as Whitehead steps to the free throw line.
The more physical this game gets, the better off it is for Iowa.
That's a 10-point game for Luke Whitehead.
But playing in the conference there in the Big Ten plays in a much more aggressive, if you will, physical conference. Conference USA, I mean, they do play aggressive there, but not quite as much.
Horner dribbled into the double team of Taekwon Dean and O'Bannon. It was out off of Louisville, however, and Iowa will inbound the ball. Have an official discussion, and they agree that the call was the proper call, and Iowa will have it. We'll look at the full court man-to-man pressure. Horner takes it all the way, and it rims out of there.
There's Brunner again. I mean, he's the garbage man supreme.
He has 21 in this game, leading all scorers. Garcia having trouble getting a shot up. There's a hand in his face on every attempt. Now out in front, Taekwon Dean had to knock it out of bounds, and Iowa now running on Louisville.
Well, they really are. They're getting the ball and they're pushing it because Louisville has tried to apply pressure in the front court, particularly after make. So when Iowa gets it, running teams generally don't like to be run on.
Sonderleiter 53 into the game now for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Taking it into the paint and back out again. Here is Brody Boyd. Iowa's biggest lead of the game, 48-43, 12 minutes remaining from Conseco Fieldhouse. And there's a handful, and I mean only a handful of Iowa fans who made the trip over here to Indianapolis, as opposed to just a ton of Louisville fans and the scattered few up on their feet.
Well, because Steve Alford's group has been playing so hard, they get some shots. Brody Boyd is somebody, because of his size, about 5'10", you take for granted. Had the good ball fake with the teardrop moments ago, and then he stepped into a 3. And the reason he wasn't covered, Bob, was he was about a step beyond where most people would shoot the ball in college. And I don't think anybody thought he would shoot the ball.
Of course, the Pacers, this is a pro basketball arena, too. The Pacers played and won last night. We have a couple of basketball people, including Larry the Legend with Donnie Walsh.
Yeah, Larry Bird is now the president of basketball operations. To his left is Donnie Walsh, who's the, if you will, chairman of the entire organization. And Larry got a big applause when he was announced being here. He, to his credit, he's come all the way back from Europe to see this game. I know, having spoke to him, that he was anxious to get back to take a look at this tradition.
Iowa is on an 11-1 run. Here is Whitehead, defended by Brunner. All fakes, and he puts it up and scores for 14 feet. People ask me my favorite ball game I ever did in the NBA, and it was the Larry steals the ball game with the Celtics and Detroit. What an incredible play that was.
Yeah, Larry had a tendency to do that.
Stand around all night looking like he couldn't play defense, and then he'd step into a passing lane and do something big.
Great anticipation.
11-12 to go in this ball game. Sonderleiter got Otis George airborne. Then he took it around Otis George and gets the whistle.
Boy, you really are seeing the experience that Rick Pitino was worried about. Watch what he does. First of all, he ball fakes you, and you can see as George picks up his 5th foul, he's in trouble. And George is recovering the whole time, and he knows after he made the last lunge that he put himself in a bad position. He's fouled out of the game.
Yeah, and D'Artez, the other center, has 4 personal fouls. Kendall D'Artez. He's going to come back into the game with his 4, as is Brandon Jenkins.
The only substitution they really can make it, they've got to get George out of the game, because if the ball doesn't... See, what happens, Rick gets 30 seconds to make the substitution. And so there was a foul shot made, and then there was another substitution about to be made, and it's blown in. They can't come in.
So we do get D'Artez on the floor for Otis George. George did not score. He was grabbing the foul, trying to defend these big men.
So Rick Pitino telling him, when you get over there, move your feet and get your hands up. And you're less apt to get that foul called against you.
Now Taekwon Dean will sit down for Louisville, and they do get Brandon Jenkins on the floor. It's on the ladder, hits his second, and we have a timeout on the floor. With Iowa 49, Louisville 45, 11 minutes remaining in game number 1 in the 4th annual Wooden Tradition from Indianapolis, Indiana.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Louisville cheerleaders and the Louisville Ladybirds.
The University of Louisville is a catalyst. U of L is making significant medical discoveries that will lead to healthier lives. We are an incubator of ideas that spawn new business and economic development. Understanding how the mind works to unlock learning for our sons and daughters. U of L is an agent for change, improving the community and the quality of life. Using new discoveries to change lives. The University of Louisville. Dare to be great.
How do we now, brother? What does your heart tell you?
He makes the murderer! Never!
Don't see it, Lee. Come to me.
He's leading us into a trap.
One wrong turn, one small deny, will seal the doom of us all.
The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, rated PG-13, starts Wednesday, December 17th.
It's true, my husband was brought up by wolves. But, you know, in most ways, he's pretty normal. We like kicking back and watching a movie with us. He was on a DVD, and, you know, he loves to be outdoors, so we bought a Honda Pilot. And we take it camping almost every weekend. You know, helps him to reconnect.
The Pilot, built by Honda.
Look good. Really, really good. Now get 50% off all lenses. That's any lens, any prescription. But only till November 29th. LensCrafters, you'll see. We're better.
Behold, the new dark chocolate Hershey's Kiss. It's our latest masterpiece. Little Hershey's Kisses, dark chocolate taste.
Welcome back to the John Wooden Tradition, everybody. Alongside me now, this is Del Curry. He played college ball at Virginia Tech, finished up his NBA career with the Toronto Raptors. Now talk about why you're here today. This event certainly brings out a lot of talent.
It certainly does. I work for the Charlotte Bobcats, and we are here scouting future talent for our team, which begins play in the fall of '04. Louisville and Iowa have some exceptional talent on their team, so we want to bring some of that talent to Charlotte if possible.
Besides basketball, what's something else you think about when you hear the name John Wooden?
Well, just tradition itself. I mean, I've watched probably every classical story on Mr. Wooden's life and talked to a lot of players. Bill Walton, who played for him, so he's the legend. He started the game. I think the legend and the history that the game has, Mr. Wooden was all part of that.
I think it's also interesting. He's a man that certainly teaches not just the mechanics of the game, but also character within a person.
Exactly. If you talk to any of his past players, they're not only good basketball players, but they're good people. And that's what says a lot about John Wooden.
Del Curry, thank you so much. Let's head back over to Quinn and Bob.
It's Beckett, Stacey. It's been turnover while we were listening to Del Curry, and it's inside to Brunner. It's blocked from behind by Francisco Garcia.
Well, Francisco got that block. I'll tell you one thing. If you wanted a shot made, Del Curry could make shots.
Amen.
Big time. You see right here, Brunner still in the paint, coming from the back. Garcia gets his hand on it. but you still want to take it to the basket because you expose Garcia to a potential foul.
16 seconds on the shot clock for Iowa, leading 49-45. Freshman Mike Henderson in the game wearing number 35 for the Hawkeyes right now and handling the ball. Tried to get a back door. Shot clock down. 4-3. Here's that long-range three. Doesn't go for Brody Boyd this time.
Didn't get the shot they want, but that's a senior in Brody Boyd who knew a shot needed to be taken by that point. So he got it up.
And that foul's on Mike Henderson. He came in and got 3 very quick fouls in the first half. That'll be his third. Team foul situation here. 6 team fouls on Louisville, 4 on Iowa. Brunner will sit down. And Taekwon Dean back into the game for Larry O'Brien and O'Bannon for the Louisville Cardinals. Easy for me to say. Garcia looking for that shot. Nowhere to go with it. Sonderleiter comes away with a turnover.
This kid is really good for him.
What a feed!
That's a basket. He's got to allow it to. I mean, I'm not sure it was going to go in.
That's the 5th, by the way, on D'Artes.
I mean, watch Horner come out of this reverse and just zip a no-look pass right there to Reiner.
And I don't think the foul's going to be on D'Artes, by the way. Let's hold for a second. It would be his 5th. But Reiner will go to the free throw line. D'Artes stays there.
Yeah, and they count the basket as well.
As you call.
Yeah, that was goaltending. The ball hits the backboard. You have to give it the opportunity to go in.
That, by the way, is the 7th team foul on Louisville. As Reiner goes to the free throw line. And it is now a 7-point lead for Iowa. That's their biggest lead of the game. (52-45), 9:15 to go in the ball game. Iowa out in front of Louisville. Louisville playing their first regular season game of the year. Francisco Garcia leans in and shoots over Jeff Horner and gets the 3rd field goal of the game.
Well, he got himself in the paint. He doesn't normally shoot as well off the dribble. But once he got in the paint, Garcia has size over Horner.
Horner looking to get it to Sonderleiter on the strong side here. Defended by Nate Daniels. Here's Sonderleiter with the ball fake. Look at the Louisville defense. It is truly amazing.
Yeah, it's been, you know what? It's well played, but I'll tell you what's happened to Louisville. They're getting hit with so many picks, they don't know where to look. Boyd knocks that down.
With 3 seconds on the shot clock, and now it's an 8-point Iowa lead.
Oh, the senior knew how much time was on the clock, I guarantee you.
This is the biggest lead of the ball game as Garcia is going to try to get some points inside. Hard to stop a scorer.
Yeah, it really is, especially when you let him turn in the paint. If you force him to turn out for jump shots, he hadn't had as much success. But if you let him turn in the paint, he'll make some good things happen.
And the foul as Horner tries to dribble between the double team of Garcia and Daniels. And they're going to call the foul on Daniels. It'll be his 3rd. You know, it must make a big difference, no matter what Rick Pitino says about, I did have 36 days of practice to teach players. I've got a lot of young ones, and so I don't know if we're hurt that much by only opening our season with a regular season game now. But the speed is so different from exhibition games and practice. It may have some effect on Louisville today.
Well, it'll have some effect because I think, and I've talked to coaches, what they'll tell you is it doesn't matter how much you practice or what you practice. You'll find out what you are in games. So that's the real issue there. But, they had to make the adjustments because of what, the situation has been knocked out in terms of using the Fieldhouse. But games are where you find out what the team's made of. You want them to practice perfect, but the games is where it all happens.
That 8-point lead just went away. It's 55-52 now as Daniels throws the lob to Whitehead. It's a 1-point Iowa lead, and these Louisville Cardinal fans are on their feet.
In no time, they got their tempo the way they wanted it, recognized by Steve Alford, who just took the timeout, and the only advised play, if you will, by Brody Boyd trying to split through defenders, because that's when you're playing at the speed of Louisville. When you play at that speed, they will dunk it. They can run and jump. All the athletic things, they do better.
Which reminds me of the doctors have dunked during the Darrell Griffith days.
No question about it.
They can't remember their warm-up uniforms in those days? They wore doctors. Double-breasted doctors. We're on the floor for the layup line. Great days for Louisville. So it's a one-point Iowa game now as Louisville's on a 7-0 run in just over the last minute, 45 seconds. And Alford hoping to calm down his team. Once they get scrambling, Flynn, you said it all ball game. It goes Louisville way.
Yeah, because it becomes athletic, and they're better athletes. I mean, they got basketball players, but they got a lot of athletes that can stop and go. And now Pierce is back on the floor,
carrying 4 fouls. They need Pierce not only for scoring, but for the extra ball handler. As, believe it or not, even at 5'10", 5'11", Brody Boyd is not a great ball handler.
No, he's a shooter, but what Pierce was able to do, Horner's been bringing the ball up the entire time. Oh, he just got set up.
Jenkins, we're talking about.
Oh, Jenkins, big time. Brody Boyd, you see his jersey is disheveled because Boyd grabbed his jersey, and Jenkins tried to move his hands off, and in doing so, he pushed the guy on offense who usually is going to get the benefit of his doubt.
Yeah, that's the first personal on Jenkins. Louisville now with 19 fouls. Iowa's only committed 4 team fouls.
Not making their foul shots now.
No, he's a great outside. He can make them from 30 feet, but trouble from 15. Here's Taekwon Dean on the drive and the dish into Whitehead, but he had to shoot it over Reiner. The follow and the rebound by Reiner. Out ahead to Brunner, intercepted by Nate Daniels. Garcia spinning, going off the glass, and the rebound to Pierre Pierce of Iowa. Clinging to the 1-point lead. They had led by 8 2 minutes ago.
But this is Louisville's game. Now, if Pierre Pierce and Horner want to keep playing like this, Louisville will win this game by 15 points if you play at that speed.
Iowa holding on to the 1-point lead right now with 6:33 remaining in game 1 of the 4th annual Wooden Tradition from Conseco Fieldhouse in Indianapolis.
Hi, I saw these at 4 Eyes for less.
These are our special glasses. They come with some extra looks. Apollo, Gathering Storm, Victor.
4 Eyes. Find the brands, find the prices, lose the attitude.
Budapest Encounter.
我向你买了这个 4 Eyes 给你，愿意？
真的吗？我不光是。
4 Eyes. Find the brands, find the prices, lose the attitude.
Is your living room unlivable? Your design sense senseless? Here's a guy who can help. Or not. Huh? Check Tim and his domestic thrill team twice a night, 5 nights a week.
5 nights a week?
Hallelujah! That's right. Get your domestic problems solved by the tool man who really knows how to bring the house down. Home Improvement now is 6 and 7:30 Eastern on your home for Super Comedy. Superstation WGN.
This is great. Let's go put it in. Oh, boy. Oh, can't believe that it's done.
Hold on, folks.
It's Jerry's business.
That's AOL 9.0 optimized you got there, people. You've been getting lots of discs, I know. But there's so many new features on that disc, I couldn't possibly list them. Even the usually skeptical press is giving AOL 9.0 rave reviews.
Oh, look, honey. Dramatically cut film.
Satisfaction guaranteed for 90 days or your money back. Well, try it. I'll bet you'll be using an old Snoop Dogg CD to finish that beautiful artwork.
Now wait just one maneuver.
AOL 9.0 optimized. So much new, you've got to try it.
Iowa holding on to a 1-point lead, 55-54. Louisville on a 7-0 run as Iowa just a little over 2 minutes of game time ago led it by 8 points. Then it got scrambling coast to coast, and as Quinn told you just before we went to our break,
that'll be Louisville ball game. Yeah, that's Louisville kind of game. They like to get it up and down. They want to put pressure on you to see if you can play the game at the speed they play it.
The three Iowa guards there with Jeff Horner leading the way just had a little bit of a conference on how they're going to try to play defense here against Louisville.
Well, they can switch almost everything.
Take a look at the shooting. And Whitehead gets that and one.
Well, they ran good action there to get Whitehead open.
Whitehead with 16 now.
Well, Whitehead, watch. He's on the screen and roll here. Taekwon Dean does a good job. See, he draws all the help. Reiner comes late. Whitehead holds on to the rim. Almost hurt himself, but you can see he took the hit and got it to go down. Good to be young. That's all I can tell you.
I've forgotten. But it must have been good to be young. As Whitehead misses their free throw, and we have a 1-point Louisville lead with 6:14 to go.
They need Pierre Pierce has got to make good decisions for them. The last 4 possessions, Pierce has had the ball. He's turned it over.
How about the 6'11" Reiner driving and gets it blocked out of bounds by Louisville?
Steve Alford is telling him, hey, take it easy.
Yeah. Where's your patience we're talking about?
Yeah, we don't need the 6'11" driving when there's help in the paint.
Long pass. Taekwon Dean thought about stepping in there to get it. O'Bannon puts it up. Beautiful cut by Brody Boyd.
He never brought it down. I mean, that's what was impressive about it. I didn't think he was going to be able to get a shot off, and he was good enough to get it in the air and get it off the glass.
That's the 13th lead change in this game. Iowa by a point. 5.5 to go. Jenkins has done a pretty good job when he's been in the game here, also handling the ball. Except that time when he travels. As soon as I said it, he travels, and let's take a look at that last one again.
Well, Brody Boyd is just going to stay active. I mean, that's the key. If you stay active, you see him go. Look, he catches it, and before Louisville can react, he gets it off the glass.
Now, that's athletic.
Yeah, it was a very athletic move. And it was great anticipation, knowing that your size is going to let you get the ball up normally.
How about this? O'Bannon stole the ball and in one motion flipped it, trying to get it to Taekwon Dean. Unfortunately, it was out of bounds. But that is the kind of we want to run and gun attitude that the Louisville Cardinals have.
At every break, except they're looking to go.
He just stole it and flipped it down court. It was out of bounds. 5 minutes to go in the game now. Iowa by a point. Here is Pierre Pierce. Whitehead steps out quickly. Brunner gets it off. There's 14 on the shot clock. Plenty of time.
Yeah, and they're using a lot on the shot clock.
Brunner for 3. He's hitting it from anywhere he wants, and he has 24 points. He's 10-12 on field goals, and now 1 of 1 from three-point range. Iowa back by 4. Here's O'Bannon missing.
Oh, got a good look.
Reiner kept it alive into the hands of Pierre Pierce with 4:25 to go. So Iowa has played with patience and poise here.
Well, when they have, they've had success. But periodically, they've gotten themselves in trouble because the game, they allow the pressure of Louisville to take over the game.
Jeff Horner looking for Brunner again. Nate Daniels all over him. Back into Brunner. Shot clock down to 10. Horner is going to pull up from 17. Somebody got a piece of that.
And they had to go to work because, as you said, the shot clock was down at 10.
Taekwon Dean all the way. Doesn't get it to go. And the rebound comes to Pierre Pierce.
I mean, you're talking about a creative shot. That was one. I mean, that was a running behind the head hit.
Maybe a little too creative.
Oh, no, there's no question. It was much too creative. I could see Rick Pitino freezing over there when that one left his hand.
Pierre Pierce all the way and gets the teardrop to go. And it's a 62-56 Iowa lead. The game clock down to 3:20 and counting.
And he's playing on fresh legs just because he's had foul trouble and has had to sit down.
Pierre playing with 4 personals. Nearly turned over. There's Horner in the face of Garcia as he has been all game. Whitehead, though, shoots over the 6'11 liner, who was giving him a little too much room. Here's that full court man-to-man pressure. That's why they need Pierce in there.
Exactly. That's why they need to get him back in the game. They can do it. Rick is getting the crowd involved. But Garcia hit the ball.
And on the drive, Pierce is fouled.
Well, I'll tell you what, I would dodge the bullet with that. There was nowhere to go for Pierce. He got lucky.
Whitehead coming up with a little bit of a lift.
Well, it looks like he got a Charlie horse the way he's reacting.
Maybe.
Got kneed in the thigh, if you will.
Whitehead got the personal foul. He has 3. Dean, O'Bannon, Daniels, and Whitehead all have 3 fouls.
You can see the drive right there. You see, he tried to take the charge, and he gets there late. And the left knee of Pierce went into the left leg of Whitehead.
Pierce with the free throw has 7 points in this game. Pierce is only 3 for 10 from the field. And he's about to take his 3rd free throw attempt. He's made 1 so far. 5-point Iowa lead. Clock getting to be a factor now at 2:47 to go.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. It is a factor. If you get it now, you make sure you try to get a good shot a little earlier in the clock.
Iowa has had a hard time from the free throw line. They're shooting 50%, 10 of 20.
I call that a terrible time.
Yeah, that wasn't a hard time. Out of bounds off O'Bannon. It'll be Iowa ball. And we have a Louisville timeout, with Iowa leading it by 5 and the clock down to 2:32 in this game. First game of the year for Louisville. Iowa came in here with 2 regular season games under their belt at 2-0.
Is your living room unlivable? Your design sense senseless? Here's a guy who can help. Or not. Huh? 10-minute domestic thrill team twice a night, 5 nights a week.
5 nights a week?
Hallelujah! That's right. Get your domestic problems solved by the tool man who really knows how to bring the house down. Home Improvement now at 6 and 7:30 Eastern on your home for Super Comedy. Superstation WGN. Get off the bench and into the game with sports on Superstation WGN. From the hardwood to the hard hit.
15-10, touchdown.
Get inside the huddle with college hoops, college football,
Great block.
and professional basketball. This is where the playmates play. Superstation WGN, where sports is always in season.
There have been 15 lead changes in this game, but right now Iowa with the 5-point bolt and 2.5 minutes remaining.
Got some Hawkeye hopeful, faithful here.
And that's about all of the Hawkeye fans who made the trip over.
They may come small, but they come mighty. The Hawkeye fans, I'm telling you, they're rabid fans.
And this Iowa team looks like it'll be somebody who can contend in the Big Ten. As you said, there are so many, particularly the top 3 teams in the Big Ten, Michigan State, Illinois.
And they look like they can contend, because one of the things you got some senior leadership with Brody Boyd, and you look at what they've got, Sunderlider's had a lot of experience. Pierce is not a senior, but that makes a difference, and if you got it out front, it's even better. What a big-time move that was. He didn't make it.
And the tip by Pierce didn't go. So with just over 2 minutes, trailing by 5, Louisville ball. Garcia,
the pass.
Into Nate Daniels. It's a 3-point Iowa lead. And here's this intense pressure.
Well, because they make baskets, it also allows them to pick up the pressure right away.
It's the man they want handling the ball, Jeff Horner, either he or Pierre Pierce. Took them 8 seconds to get across that timeline.
See, they're now starting to use the clock in their favor are the Hawkeyes.
With only a 3-point lead. Clock down to 1.5 minutes in the game. Luke Whitehead, by the way, has a double-double in this game with his 10th rebound. Pierce thought about it, gets it down to Sonderleiter, tries to feed Brunner. Now shot clock down to 3. Brunner's leaner won't go. And Louisville with a chance to tie if they get a 3.
Let's see how they play this. You got to believe they're looking to get the ball to Garcia.
And they do. And he gets it back to Taekwon Dean from long range. The long rebound is saved by Whitehead to Garcia. And Taekwon Dean is alone for the three. We are tied.
I mean, he knocked that one down. He was so confident. He took that shot to tie the game.
How appropriate that Louisville would tie it with a three. We told you they had taken 71 threes in 2 exhibition games coming in here, and it is clearly a part of their role.
So they're always looking to see what gets a good opportunity here inside, able to pass the ball. Garcia makes a solid pass there, but Louisville started to get things going in their direction. Knocked down the three, missed one, got a second one. You can't leave Dean alone. Very confident three-point shooter.
This is the 5th tie in this game at 63-63. It was tied at the half, 31 all, and there have been 13 lead changes. We have had a beauty in the opener here of the 4th annual John R. Wooden Tradition. Game number 2 right after this one features Indiana and Xavier.
You would think if you're Iowa, you would know that Taekwon shoots 41% from the three. Therefore, he cannot shoot a wide-open three-point shot, and for whatever reason, Iowa just did not get out there, and they've got to find a way. They should get Iowa, that is, at least 2 possessions, but they will be well defended, I can assure you.
Well, they do have the opportunity to be patient once again, since the game is tied.
Yeah, they do, and I think that's what they'll probably do, and then they can stay solid on defense. But you're going to want to get the shot up probably before, frankly, anywhere in the neighborhood of 40, 30, I'd say 43 seconds if you have to, because I try to go 2 for 1. So if I don't get the first one to go down, I expect my defense to hold me, and then I get a shot. If they do make a shot, I still got another one to come down and try to make it work for me then.
There's 18 seconds differential in the shot clock and the game clock. 53 seconds left in the game. And there'll, of course, be a new 35-second clock. There he is, he says, don't call me this, but I'm going to do it anyway. The Wizard of Westwood. He doesn't like that. He's such a humble, terrific guy. He's 93.
So you call him that anyway?
So I did anyway. So now when he sees me, he'll say, did you call me the Wizard? And I'll say, no, Twin Bucket.
I didn't hear it. The what?
He is the coaching guru in college basketball. Iowa taking their time, tied at 63.
They're looking inside the Reiner, who's being well defended by Whitehead.
And D'Artes, by the way, their center, does only have 4 fouls, but he is
got him
back in.
Got him.
And there comes Brody, misses, and they battle for the rebound, and Brody comes away with it with 22 seconds.
Well, they're trying to see if they got a timeout, which they do. Now, at this point, I think it's the right thing. Don't take a timeout, but do not let... Oh, he's taking it.
Yeah, he is with 12 seconds to go in the game. I think he may have wanted to do that to be able to take the clock down even further for their attempt to win the game.
Well, at this point, you got the clock in your favor because you don't have a shot clock to worry about. What he's probably more concerned about is getting a good shot. What you do not want to do is leave enough time on the clock if you miss it to allow Louisville to be able to take time out and get a good shot.
This is only the 4th annual Wooden Tradition, but there have been some great finishes in these ball games. This is the first Wooden. Purdue and Arizona, and Arizona was number 1 in this game, and Purdue came in and got the set 72-69 with another exciting finish, and we're right in the midst of one here, tied at 63.
What you know about the tradition, the Wooden Tradition, highly competitive games, and we have another one. Rick Pitino's club has to try to do it on the defensive end.
We have 12 seconds to go in the game. You see the game reset on time and fouls to give. Shot clock to the game clock to 6. Pierce working on O'Bannon. It's going to come down to this. Pierce spinning and shooting. It won't fall, and we have a tie. Interestingly enough, I said at the halftime, I better review the overtime situation. It was tied at 31-31. Not really expecting an overtime, yet we have it. So they'll get 5 minutes of free basketball.
You see Reggie Fierce, that's him right there really trying to get his Cardinals, and they're now his Cardinals, if you will. Get them to stay involved in the game. But I don't know if you have to raise your voice at them at this point.
Well, particularly not with Rick Pitino. He will handle the raised voice. No question. Reggie Theus, by the way, a new assistant for Rick Pitino, who joined him in August. And Rick Pitino said he was looking at when he was trying to decide who to add as another assistant coach, he was looking at the resume of Reggie Theus. And he looks down and he says, you know, his great college career and his pro career, then his television career, and then he said the thing that really put me over the edge and said I've got to have Reggie Theus is when he was named Hunk of the Year by TV.
Yeah, that goes a long way to helping you in basketball.
Reggie Theus, however, and his reputation doesn't say this, but I've worked with him a lot and gotten to know him quite well. He knows a lot about basketball, and I asked him right before this game, how serious are you about this? Is this just an attempt to be an assistant coach? And he said, no, I really want to finish the rest of my career coaching college basketball.
As I talked to him, he was coached in Los Angeles at a Division II school as a volunteer assistant. And then from there, that's when he realized that what he was doing was something that he really, really wanted to do. He wasn't doing it just to pass time.
So we are ready for 5 more minutes of overtime basketball. Louisville and Iowa tied at 63. We're talking about NBA players. Troy Murphy, who still holds the scoring record from Notre Dame. You see the rest, Kareem Rush, Luke Walton, what great players. And, of course, we'll be seeing some of these players in the NBA. Reggie Theus thinks that Francisco Garcia definitely has a chance to go NBA as a shooter, but said he needs a lot of work on his defense and his footwork and his ball handling.
And the one thing you can't ever measure in all of that is whether or not the young man wants it enough. Because you're playing in the NBA. That's a man's game, and you've got to really want it.
Speaking of want it, we almost got that ball. I saw you reaching for it. You could launch one from here.
You saw me reaching for it, backing up.
Here's Boyd with the ball. Tied at 63. We're in the first second of overtime. Looking in for Reiner. But Whitehead doing a heck of a job defending him. That's why Dartez isn't back in here.
Oh, what a good pass.
Jeff Horner misses the 3. The rebound comes down to O'Bannon. And we're going to get a foul against Greg Brunner.
Because of a good, tough rebound, you're going to get that foul. O'Bannon went up strong to get the rebound.
That's only the first foul on Brunner. Well, Jeff Horner got a great look.
He really did. They were able to skip the ball on the bounce to get Horner. They would have preferred that to have been Brody, I'm sure. Brody Boyd.
At halftime, Francisco Garcia had made only 1 field goal. He's 4 of 11 now, but 8 of 9 from the line and has 17 points. So they'll be looking for their star. He has it now. Gets past Pierce. Kick. Nate Daniels, the first to whistle. Wave off the basket. It's an offensive foul.
On field.
Yes. Let's check that's only his second person.
He turns the corner coming off as he was facing the basket to the left. You see right there, Horner's there. Ball's out of his hands, but he comes down on Horner to Garcia.
So Brody Boyd got it down there, and here is Pierce with the ball. 24 seconds on the shot clock. Looking for Reiner, but Whitehead has just done a whale of a job on that 6'11 center. Here's Brunner with a ball fake, a spin move, and he's fouled. And let's go to Stacey Pate. Stacey, what do you have?
Well, guys, at the end of regulation, a lot of the Iowa Hawkeye teammates were reminding each other it's not over yet. And also, Coach was impressing upon the guys to slow down. Do not let Louisville play at their pace. Continue to be patient on offense and don't force the game. Bob?
Thank you, Stacey. As Brunner steps to the line now, and I think we are going to get Dartez back in the game, the starting center for Louisville.
Well, we talked about, the will here, and that's the game in competition. It's always about the will, whether the will to play at a slower pace as Iowa would prefer to do because they have the size advantage, or if the will to play at the more rapid pace that Iowa has a little tough time playing against that Louisville would prefer to do. Now, Louisville, having not played a game this year, really didn't know whether or not they could not only play the pace, but can they play it for 40 minutes? And that's the big difference.
65-63 as Brunner gets both his field goals and now has 26 in this game. Remember, the scoring record's 30. From the corner, Tyquan Dean, long range, doesn't get it. Who has the rebound? It's Greg Brunner. He's been player of the game in my view. Although there have been some other players that had a great game, but Brunner has been the man to answer for Iowa.
Well, he's played well. There's no doubt about the fact that he's really played well.
I better let you decide on who's the player of the game. I thought I'd throw that
This is a
vote in.
collaborative effort here, I like your thought.
Garces tipped away, and the ball was recovered by Louisville. O'Bannon to Francisco Garcia. 3 minutes to go in overtime. Garcia splits the defenders, dishes to Whitehead. Saw that coming. And the lead pass to Brody, a 4-point Iowa lead.
Now, what's happening now, Garcia is the guy that has the ball and takes it inside into the paint. And all of the offensive players for Louisville are flat, which means on the baseline away from the opponent's basket. And that's how Brody Boyd got free.
Oh, we have a beauty. 67-63, Iowa with 2:53 to go in overtime as Boyd gets the grip shot.
Am I interested in changing my long-distance carrier?
Do you have a problem with these? These clothes.
Why don't you make a John Becker special?
Try a sandwich made of crab, bologna, and gold.
Hey, dancing is Becker, letting loose all week long. Now, weeknights at 7 and 11 on Superstation WGN.
Shut up and watch. The McAllister family is leaving on their Christmas vacation, but they forgot one small thing. It's everyone's favorite family comedy.
Know that you're in there.
Without the family. Macaulay Culkin, Joe Pesci, Daniel Stern.
You guys give up? Or you're thirsty for more?
Home Alone.
Tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern on Superstation WGN.
Well, in case you're looking for omens in this overtime game, Iowa is 3-1 in games they've played at Conseco Fieldhouse. Matter of fact, they're played in 3 different arenas here in Indianapolis over the years. But Louisville leads in the only 2 games they've played, 2-0, winning in 1983, 79-58 in Louisville, and then winning on Louisville winning on the way to the championship with UCLA in 1980. So Louisville holds a 2-0 lead in their series, but they're 20 years ago, and many of these kids are just not dawned on me, Quinn. Oh, mercy.
I say nothing. I know nothing on that one.
I'm remembering that, of course, like it was yesterday. I looked out here on the floor and I realized that, for instance, Brody Boyd wasn't born. 67-63 Iowa, 2:48 to go in the ball game. Whitehead thought about it. Nice dish. Oh, Garces, blocked by Brunner.
Oh, I thought he got him.
Saved by Horner. The lead out. Brody. It's a 6-point Iowa lead.
Your player of the game, without question, Brunner. If Iowa happens to win, I think either way. I mean, that was one heck of a block.
6'7", 240. It's not that Brunner's a leaper either. There's Taekwon Dean. Kicks it to O'Bannon for 3. It's not over with Louisville triple.
So you know the reasons why. Some people say, why do they take so many threes? Because Rick Pitino encourages them to take those threes.
They are 10 of 26 in this game. 26 three-pointers have been attempted. Look at that pass. Well, that was dangerous. Pierre Pierce. There's the three-point story. Only 13. Twice as many as Iowa. 1:50 to go in overtime. 3-point Iowa lead. Still looking to get it to Reiner. Whitehead now out on Brunner. That was a smart switch. Whitehead, the best post defender, despite Garces being bigger. Pierce misses the long-range shot. A chance to pull to within 1 or tie with a 3 for the Cardinals. Here's the 3. There's the tie.
Got it back. Just like that. 2 possessions. Game is tied, and it looked like Iowa was starting to settle into their own style of play.
Truly amazing. Pitino out coaching. Alford out trying to talk. It's on the other end of the floor for Alford. There's Rick Pitino. O'Bannon hit both of those threes here in overtime. Jeff Horner gets it across the timeline, but gets himself trapped in that corner and had to call a timeout. 1:09 to go in the game. There'll be 26 seconds on the shot clock remaining for Iowa. Tied at 69. dare I say, 2 overtime?
Well, we'll wait to see. I mean, because both teams are playing exceptionally hard. The three-point shot is going down by Louisville. They've done a very good job of knocking that down. Iowa has tried to play it on both ends, but they've got to, because the three-point shot makes up for a lot of deficiencies.
This has been much like we expected. Would you agree? In other words, the patience of Iowa has been what sustained them, and the defense and the run-outs by Louisville. Would you agree that that's been most of the case?
Yeah, yes, I do agree with you. And coming in, I thought the concern for Iowa was going to be whether or not they could stay up with the pace that I thought Louisville would put upon them based upon their defense, and that is still yet to be determined.
That, by the way, is the last timeout for Iowa. And we talked about being in game shape, even though Rick Pitino his teams are as in a good condition as anybody, no matter where he's coached. But this is the first game of the year, and the pace is higher in this game than it is exhibition.
It is that, but it also puts a lot of pressure on Iowa, because I think one of the reasons Horner could not dribble a ball past the corner is because he was trying to get to a semi-safe haven because he's tired. I mean, he's had a lot of pressure put on him just bringing the ball up court.
Pierre Pierce with the ball. 1 minute to go in this game. Tied at 69. Reiner wanted the back door to Boyd, wasn't there. 10 seconds on the shot clock for the Hawkeyes. Here's Horner kicking. Brunner. Boyd. That was blocked.
That partially blocked.
Garcia got his hands on it. 45 seconds. Chance for Louisville to take the lead. Here's Dean. Bounce pass inside. It doesn't go.
He stepped out of bounds.
And he stepped out of bounds. It'll be Iowa ball. Wow.
Well, he'll still get the way it stands, they'll still get another chance because it's a 4.8 seconds difference.
39.8 in the game, 35 seconds, of course, on the shot clock. Tied at 69. Here's that pressure. Here, Pierce beats it to the top of the key.
Oh, Bannon twists his ankle? If he twists his ankle, you don't want to get the ball up.
He's limping.
They got to go back at him. Yeah, he's limping. You got to throw him the ball.
And he had him isolated over on the side, and Boyd got the ball over to the right side of the key.
Well, Pierce just needs to take it. You can't stop him. The help came. Oh, he got it. He got the chance to pick up his fifth.
Yes, he did. That was an excellent play. He tried to beat O'Bannon because of the ankle and did beat him. D'Arthez stepped out on the baseline and committed his fifth foul.
Well, Rick Pitino knows that D'Arthez tried to help. He just got faked. But you can see O'Bannon was beat, and D'Arthez came and helped, and then just a good play by Pierce.
I'll tell you, we're talking about the quickness of Louisville. Pierce and Brody and Horner are pretty quick players out on the perimeter themselves for Iowa.
They are. As you look at projected D'Arthez.
(69-69), Iowa and Louisville with 9.2 seconds. Iowa ball, and as I say a moment ago, dare I mention overtime for the second time, and we may very well have that unless Iowa can get it here. And Louisville speed, Iowa could score here, and Louisville could come back again.
And you just saw some good coaching. Because you get 30 seconds to make the change, there's one timeout that Louisville has. They may not take the timeout because they potentially could have just used that same kind of time or made good use of the time just moments ago.
Here's Pierce with big free throws. That's the first. There's the 1-point lead. And now Mike Henderson comes into the game to get some more quickness on the floor for Iowa.
Yeah, they got 6 players.
That's it.
Reiner, Henderson came in. The freshman Henderson comes in. He never tells the senior Reiner that he's off the floor. And Reiner's trying to encourage everybody not to foul and to match up. And they almost have 6 players on the floor.
That would have helped.
Short.
Pierce misses it. Rebound comes down to Whitehead. 6 seconds in the game.
Give it to Garcia and let him go to work.
Oh. And they get it to Nate Daniels. He misses it. Rebound. Comes down to Boyd. And Iowa has upset Louisville 70-69.
Well, Brody Boyd is obviously happy because he's back in Indiana. But it was a terrific game. And obviously, the overtime, a 1-point game, had no idea which way it would go. Both teams have a good idea here early because having played in this tradition, how their teams have to improve.
Well, Rick Pitino said he would find out a lot, and he knew that this would be a test with Iowa. And that's the first time Iowa has ever beaten Louisville. They were 0-2 before this game. So Steve Alford, of course, also a star at Indiana, comes back here to his home state. He grew up in Martinsville, the same place where John Wooden grew up. And Alford's Iowa team gets the win 70-69 in overtime versus Louisville, who came in here ranked 16th in the country, but without having played their first regular season game. Greg Brunner has been just amazing in the game, and everybody on Iowa's team in the overtime played well.
He played well consistently. I mean, more so than anybody else over the long haul. And, you know, it's just big for Brunner. It should be.
And Greg Brunner is our Chevrolet player of the game. 26 points, 4 rebounds. Look at that, 10 of 14. One of his biggest plays, though, isn't even on that line, and that was the block shot in overtime.
All the more reason he's the Chevrolet player of the game.
So Iowa cuts the victory in their first appearance here in the Wooden tradition. Steve Alford is happy with this. As you see, the Iowa Hawkeyes, they now go to 3-0. We'll be right back here to Conseco Fieldhouse in just a moment. Iowa the victor in overtime over Louisville, 70-69.
Meet amazing new Brillo Scrub and Toss cleaning pads. They flexibly scrub, polish, clean everything you need scratchlessly. The expected things, unexpected things. Expected, unexpected. New Scrub and Toss pads. 2 sides, gentle or tough. Use them dry, use them wet, rinse them. When they get too cruddy, chuck them. They cost next to nothing. Brillo Scrub and Toss. Work them hard, work them long, let them go.
It's always been our dream to run a bed and breakfast. Then I had to go on chemo. Doctor said I might become anemic, maybe feel weak, but it just drained me. We even talked about canceling our guests. I had to do something.
Are you or someone you love about to start chemotherapy? Call this number now to receive important information about Procrit. Procrit is for chemotherapy-related anemia in patients with most kinds of cancer. Procrit helps rebuild red blood cells lost during chemotherapy, and more red blood cells can mean more strength. Call now for helpful information on how to manage chemo side effects and how to find out if you could be anemic.
Here come the new thing.
I'm ready. Procrit is proven to be safe. In studies, only diarrhea and edema occurred more often with Procrit than placebo. So talk to your doctor. Call now and learn how Procrit can help you get back the strength you need. Your strength for living.
Around here, there's no slowing down.
The Entertainment Savings Book is filled with national and local discounts for whatever comes your way. You'll save up to 50% on everything from spas to supermarkets. This great gift idea costs as little as $25. Act now and get an introductory offer of $5 off plus free shipping. The Entertainment Savings Book. Save up 50% on whatever your day may bring. Visit entertainment.com or call 1-888-231-SAVE.
Welcome back to Conseco Fieldhouse. We are between the games here for the Wooden tradition, and wow, what an exciting game 1 here. Louisville losing to Iowa in overtime, 69-70. I tell you what, we're set for another great game, I'm sure, as Indiana will take on Xavier. But first, let's take a look at the trophy presentation as the Iowa Hawkeyes get their win here and to the Wooden tradition.